Tonight is not about the final score. It's about the lasting impression. It's only a scrimmage, but don't tell that to the player whose job is on the line.
Tonight, it's an exclusive preseason edition of the NFL on Fox. As WVUE Fox 8 brings you a special presentation of the New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys in a live scrimmage from Independence Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Welcome to Shreveport, hard on the heels of the Red River. Tonight, the NFL comes to northern Louisiana. The Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints going head-to-head in the battle on the border. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Gallagher, and all of us here at WVUE Fox 8 are excited about tonight's exclusive live broadcast of this Saints-Cowboys scrimmage. After watching the Saints and the Packers the other night, believe me, I can tell you one thing. The New Orleans Saints are going to be fired up for this game this evening here in Shreveport. Let me introduce my broadcast partner to you tonight, a guy known to a lot of fans in northern Louisiana and southern Louisiana as the Cajun Cannon. From 1985 to 1992, he was the New Orleans Saints starting quarterback. In fact, he is the winningest quarterback in New Orleans Saints history. Led this team to 3 of its 4 playoff appearances. Joining me now, Bobby Hebert, the Cajun Cannon. And Bobby, since you're here with me tonight, there's no truth to the rumor that you'll be suiting up this evening.
No, I don't believe, Jim. It's too an ideal situation I got going here with you. And besides, I wouldn't like to be out there right now getting beat up.
You and I had a chance to talk to Mike Ditka about this scrimmage. He is taking this very seriously tonight, isn't he?
Oh, this is a game-like situation. You can have guys that are going to make or break their situation as far as making the team today. And same thing with the Cowboys. Both teams have gotten off to slow starts in the preseason, so this is very important for both teams.
You had a chance to meet Mike Ditka. What are your thoughts on him as a head coach?
Well, he's the type of coach that I would have loved to play for. You know, he's the old school, and that's the type of player I was, you know, just working hard and getting things done, and I think he's ideal for New Orleans.
Now, we've got a lot coming up for you in the next couple hours. First of all, let's give you an idea what the scrimmage format is going to be this evening. First of all, we'll go with some special teams, Bobby, and then we kind of get into the exciting portion of the evening. We start with the 7-on-7 passing drill.
Yeah, the 7-on-7 passing drill is basically offense against the defense without a pass rush. So the offense definitely has an advantage, and in that period, the offense should complete, I'd say, 75 to 85% of the passes.
And then we go to one-on-one block, and we'll get a chance to isolate in some guys like Kyle Turley, Chris Nioli, Wayne Martin on the defensive side.
Yeah, this is always very interesting as far as you see 2 300-pound guys just smacking it, and this is a drill that I always enjoy going over and doing the snap count and watching these 300-pound guys hit each other.
And then we'll move into a goal line situation after the other night. The Saints certainly, this is something they want to be working on in this scrimmage, is goal line situations.
Oh, without a doubt. If you're going to score, you have to be productive in the red zone. As far as you have those opportunities, you got to be able to punch it in. Even though teams know you're primarily going to run, that's whoever's going to dominate the line of scrimmage is the ones that are going to be successful throughout the season.
And then, of course, coming up in just a few minutes, it's the full contact scrimmage. The only person not live in this game is the quarterback. And, Bobby, that really makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, how would you like Troy Aikman getting hit out here and being out for the season? You can't afford to have that. But everybody else will be hitting and trying to earn a position for the team. And this is a big opportunity for a lot of guys. This might be their last chance, so they have to take advantage of it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, one of the unique things about this broadcast tonight is we're going to get a chance to try and take you up close inside this game. And we're going to have 2 sideline reporters working the field for us. First of all, let's go down to my colleague, Joe Trahan. Joe, what do you got for us?
Thanks so much, Jimmy. We're going to have an exciting evening here on the sidelines tonight because it's a rare chance for us to get right up in the face of these NFL players. We'll see all the sideline drills. We'll have them talking to us left and right, just like kicker Doug Bryan there. We'll have one-on-one drills and get you as close as possible to the pro game. This is as close as you can get without it being a real game. We'll have much more coming up for you from the sidelines now. The special teams work is underway. We'll be back with more later, but for now, let's throw it up to Jim Gallagher. Jimmy.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. And remember I said at the beginning of the broadcast we would have 2 sideline reporters. One of our other colleagues at Fox 8 Sports is Ron Swoboda, and Ron is on the Dallas Cowboys sideline. Ron?
Yeah, and unless you haven't noticed all the silver and blue in this stadium, Shreveport is definitely cowboy country. Not only that, it's been a pocket for some pretty successful NFL quarterbacks who have lived here, come from here, played around this area, and succeeded very well in the NFL. We're going to have a piece on that later as our broadcast from the Battle on the Border continues. Jim, back to you.
Thank you very much. And Ron Swoboda mentioned we're going to see a lot of silver and black. We're also going to see a lot of gold and black in the stands. Over 40,000 tickets have been sold to this game tonight. And Bobby Hebert, that's a lot of fans for an NFL scrimmage.
Well, this is a great opportunity for them to get up close and see their heroes. You know, the Cowboys have a big influence in Shreveport, and when we were winning, we had a big influence here in Shreveport. So this is just ideal for them to get close to the players, and people are just football crazy in the South, and when they have this opportunity to come out, they take advantage of it.
And this is a game you actually played on this stadium before, so you understand this field. It's a nice stadium to play in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great situation. Not only when I'm playing in it, but now what they have with the SEC, with the Independence Bowl, you know, having a game, LSU playing here and selling it out. So I played here in the State Fair game at Northwestern against Louisiana Tech, and it was a lot of fun. This is a big part of my life, and North Louisiana is a big part of my life, just like South Louisiana.
All right, let's give you an idea what's going on the field right now. The New Orleans Saints are practicing their punting. Now, this will not be a live portion of the scrimmage, but that's Mark Royals obviously punting for the New Orleans Saints. And the idea here, Bobby, is real simple. Each team is going to have 6 punts. They're going to work on their coverage teams. The New Orleans Saints work on coverage teams. Then the Dallas Cowboys will punt the ball, and they'll work on their coverage teams.
Yeah, what they're primarily doing, special teams coaches will look at the film and make sure they're staying in their lanes. They're using proper technique. Everything is pretty much full speed the first couple of steps, and then they're just kind of gliding. But if you don't start off correctly with your proper technique, then it's all going to go to wash. So that's what they're primarily working on.
Yeah, Mike Ditka really keys in on the special teams. Bobby April is, of course, the special teams coach of the Saints. A lot of people may not realize this, but Mike Ditka, when he started in the NFL, he was a special teams coach for the Dallas Cowboys. So he really takes this portion of the game seriously.
Well, you have to take it serious, because this is where games are won and lost. And a lot of times when you have guys who are very close in talent, this is how you make a ball club. So special teams have to be a big part of your game, and you have to go up and just hit people or block people down and have a chance to make the team.
Let's look at some of the wide-out blocking here, Bobby. We're going to take a look at some of the ISO replay. Let's take a look at how the Dallas Cowboys force guys are doing this, and we'll take a look right here. And first of all, Bobby, when we talk about the force man, this is the New Orleans Saints force man, Gerard Cherry.
Here's Gerard trying to release inside, and it's very difficult because you basically have 2-on-1. And right there, that's basically a penalty on number 19, grabbing his jersey and pulling him down. And, you know, sometimes they'll call it and sometimes they won't. And, you know, he might go complain to the special teams coach, and the coach said, hey, so what are they holding? You got to get past him. You got to get down there. And it's a very special guy to be able to beat that double team, and they do have a few in the league that can.
Well, the best special teams really do. They're the ones who are able to step forward and break those double teams, aren't they?
Right, exactly. You know, here's a one-on-one situation now on the field where they're going, and you definitely have to win. And it's just a matter of getting down there, and you want to get the guy to fair catch the ball and not make a big return, because the ones who can get it up in the face of the punt return is the one that's going to get the opponent in bad field position.
And you touched on a point very briefly, but Mike Ditka has talked about this all offseason and all training camp. The guys, if you're not going to be a starter on this football team, you better be ready to play special teams.
And to play special teams, you have to be in shape, and you have to be willing for that to be a priority in your life, and be something that you really have a desire to do. Because a lot of it is just heart and desire and wanting to get the job done, and not just sitting back and saying, oh, this is a time for me to take a play off. You got to want to go out there and make things happen, and you have a good opportunity to make the team, especially if you're even with someone, let's say at a tight end position or linebacker, but you're better special teams players, you'll make the team.
Well, of course, the New Orleans Saints punter is Mark Royals. He was one of the top punters in the NFC last year, averaged over 45 yards a kick. Snapping the ball, Jerry Fontenot. This time they're kicking it deep. Stepford Williams back on the return for the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to continue covering this scrimmage. Right now we're going to take a break on Fox 8, and we'll be back with a lot more coverage of the Saints and the Dallas Cowboys scrimmage live from Shreveport, Louisiana, as we continue rolling on here on Fox 8. Welcome back live to Shreveport, Louisiana. Independence Stadium, the New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys going at it in a full contact scrimmage. They're calling it the battle on the border. Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are here. The New Orleans Saintsations are here. Over 40,000 fans in the stands enjoying this scrimmage and this action here tonight. And let me give you, and now the Dallas Cowboys are punting. We surely showed you the New Orleans Saints punting. This is the special teams portion of the scrimmage. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we'll get into the 7-on-7. We'll also have the 1-on-1 blocking drills. And then in a few minutes, we'll have the full contact scrimmage. But again, right now, the New Orleans Saints are punting. And back to punt is Fred Weary, Bobby.
Yeah, Fred Weary is a talented young rookie out of Florida. And You know, just talking with him, he has a whole lot of confidence, and that's what you have to have as a rookie. And as you notice on that play, he fair caught. And last game, I think he said he would never fair catch, but Coach Dickey said, yeah, you can be confident, but you got to be a smart, confident football player. So I think Coach Dickey had him working on his fair catch.
Yeah, he said the one thing you got to do is you're going to learn to fair catch very quickly. Let's take a look at Bobby April. Bobby, there's a guy that you've been around a long time. You know how valuable Bobby April is to the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, he's one of the most emotional coaches I've ever been around. You know, I have a special bond with him being from Chalmette, Louisiana, me being from Cutoff. Actually, we played against each other when he was at Chalmette High School and I was at South Lafourche. And, you know, also we hooked up again with the Atlanta Falcons and Jerry Glanville. And he's noted as one of the top special teams coaches in the league.
All right, let's take a look at the force action right here. Good job by Jerron Cherry there, Bobby.
Yeah, that's what you basically do. You knock him out of bounds, you in a win situation. You throwing him off guard, and he's not even close to the punt returner.
Another guy we're going to be looking at tonight is the New Orleans Saints are going to be looking at a lot of guys in this situation. And we talked about scrimmage action, and this is a chance to look at a lot of different people. And the New Orleans Saints have to look at a lot of people as a punt returner because right now their top punt returner is on the shelf. Eric Gulliford is out with an Achilles, so the New Orleans Saints are trying all sorts of people back here tonight, including a free agent, Joe Douglas, out of Montana. And we're going to take a look at one more punt, and then we'll talk a little bit about Eric Gulliford. But he is a guy that is crucial to the New Orleans Saints' success and really played a big part in their success last year.
Oh, he was unbelievable. I mean, I look at his situation and what he meant to the New Orleans Saints. I know as a quarterback, the Saints, you look at them, they led the NFL in field position as far as where they were starting drives, and that's going to be really hard to replace, but they'll have to find somebody.
Yeah, he was number 3 in the NFL doing that last year, so obviously a crucial part of the New Orleans Saints' success. And our Joe Trahan had a chance up in training camp to catch up with Eric Gulliford to give you an update on his progress and recovery.
From the beginning of the '97 season, Eric Gulliford provided a much-needed spark to the Saints' offense. He gobbled up more than 26 yards every time he touched a kickoff, good for 3rd best in the league. And his 498 yards on punt returns stands as the 2nd highest total in club history. But so far this season, Gully is out of the mix. He's undergoing an aggressive rehab program after tearing his Achilles tendon in an off-season pickup basketball game.
How tough is it for you to watch these workouts going on from the sidelines, being the competitor that you are?
I thought it would be tough, and it is. You know, watching us practice against each other is one thing, but, you know, when new blood comes in, it gets even rougher.
At 5'8", 180 pounds, he's proven he can take the pounding. The big question, though, how long will it take for Gulliford to return this time? It usually takes about 6 months with an Achilles, which would put him back in the lineup around mid-season. But Gully says he's going all out to beat that timetable.
That was an excellent reattachment to begin with, so we really started off ahead of schedule.
It's going to be hard, but he is determined, and that's a big thing. You get an athlete like that, and especially at this level, that's what you find. These guys want to be back. He wants to get back on the field. He wants to resume his career.
Gulliford begins each day at 6:30 in the morning with treatment. Then it's on to a grueling weight workout, as much running as he can stand, and he ends his day with a pool workout. Gully says he's never one to back down in the face of a challenge.
You know, Mike Ditka had made a comment that he didn't think I would be back this season. You know, and that just, you know, that's throwing gas on the fire right there because, you know, all my life, you know, somebody's been telling me that I couldn't do something. And, you know, I just think about things like that.
The Saints can certainly use Gully's expertise. Kick returner Gunnar Twiner stumbled, and backup punt returner Fred Weary fumbled in the preseason opener at Green Bay. So the Saints will be banking on veteran Andre Hastings to provide some special team stability. Meanwhile, Gully will be intent on doing whatever it takes to make it back to the gridiron.
This is a setback. Certainly would be a dream come true to miss 3 or 4 games of the season if I have to, and then still come back and still make the Pro Bowl or receive any other accolades above or better than last year.
Eric Gulliford, one of the key components to the New Orleans Saints special teams back in 1997, and hopefully he'll get healthy coming back next year. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to take you to the 7-on-7 and the 1-on-1 line drill. Stick around. The Saints and the Dallas Cowboys continue live here on Fox 8 in a moment. The Saints and the Dallas Cowboys are continuing their scrimmage. Right now we're in 7-on-7. Beginning of this telecast, we promised to take you inside the game, and we will. Just a couple of seconds ago, take a listen to Billy Joe Hebert.
Gold right, hot right, X and Z, pivot on go. On go.
Jim, X and B pivot, they'll probably be coming in and whipping back outside.
10, 5, there they go.
Did you see that little pump fake when he faked? The receiver was definitely breaking in, and he whipped back out. Now, you know, it's hard to say whether you know, he completed on that one, but I definitely know the read.
And we've got Saints quarterback Billy Joe Hebert wired up. We're going to continue listening to Billy Joe Hebert this entire scrimmage to give you an idea and take you as inside the ball game as we can. You understand, get a feel for what it's like on the sidelines of an NFL game, Bobby, and it's a little different than you normally think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely intense. You have to pay attention and hear your assignment and know exactly what you have to do. People don't realize it's not just like, okay, you go down to the flag, take it out. You know, you have to know terminology, and it's really difficult because, I mean, guys, you know, have to grow up with it and learn with it and have a number of practices. So it's a learning process for especially the new players.
And Billy Joe Hebert really is.
Oh, yeah. 6 was there. He just filling his patoot.
Here we've got Danny Werfel now taking his snaps with the 7-on-7 drill. Danny Werfel this time hitting it inside to Brett Besh, the former LSU Tiger.
Yeah, I tell you what, Danny Werfel, he's going to be a smart football player throughout his career. He knows where to go with the football. He just needs to work on making those big throws. But as far as mentally, he'll be always on top of things.
You know, we talked a lot about the improved arm strength on Fox 8 in our newscast this so far this training camp. You were up there yesterday. Do you see an improved arm strength from Danny Werfel?
Well, I definitely see an increase in arm strength, but I don't think it's actually him changing his throwing motion. I think it's just him getting his body in more and rotating his hips and making plays that way.
And again, we're watching 7-on-7 drills. This time, Bobby, we're in the red zone. They're taking it from the 5-yard line and working on goal line situations in the 7-on-7 passing drill.
Yeah, this is where you have to put it in the end zone, whether you're running or passing. And on that particular play, we wouldn't have made it. It was 3rd and 5, but it got stopped on the 1-yard line. But you have to get in the end zone, and the teams that do, the teams are going to have success.
Werfel this time going to Troy Davis. Let's take a look at the replay on this one. And again, it's just a simple swing to the back coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, exactly. He's looking downfield to put in the end zone. The linebackers are dropping too deep, so he just dumped to Troy Davis. Now it's Troy Davis' job to break that tackle by the linebacker and get an end zone for 6.
Now we're going to check out the Cowboys in the 7-on-7 red zone. Both teams are, as we see this field, both teams, as we pan across the field, on one side you've got the New Orleans Saints. They are working on 7-on-7 drills. But then you also have the Dallas Cowboys. They are on the other side working on 7-on-7. Let's again pick it up with Danny Werfel. He drops back to pass. Looking in the end zone, he's got a guy open. Nicely done. The nice touchdown catch by number 17, Joe Douglas of Montana. And let's take a look, Bobby, at Joe Douglas, isolated one-on-one here.
He's coming off with a great release, and here's the cornerback just basically squatting, and that was really a beautiful throw by Danny Werfel. That's one of his best balls that he could throw as a quarterback, that little fade route, the little up and over throw, and the receiver gave him a lot of room, and he just touched it right in there.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a guy in the National Football League who throws that fade route any better.
Baby Daniel!
You could see Billy Joe all fired up, giving Danny encouragement, and that's what you have to have as a leader of your football team. Billy Joe's encouraging not only himself, but he's all behind Danny Werfel on that play.
Yeah, we've got, again, as you'll hear this throughout the course of the broadcast, we've got Billy Joe Hebert wired up with a wireless microphone, so he'll be able to take you inside this game and give some fans a perspective they probably haven't had before. And Billy Joe Hebert, you were very impressed when you were up there yesterday, spending a little time with him, weren't you, Bobby?
Yeah, I've always watched him from afar, but just talking to him one-on-one and different people I've talked to, what he has going for him is the mental toughness. You know, a lot of people are physically tough or they're mentally smart, but he's mentally tough, and he has adversity. He knows how to bounce back from it.
All right, we've got Jake Delhomme now in at quarterback again. He is taking the snaps in this red zone 7-on-7 situation. Delhomme with a quick slant pattern there, and he hits number 19, Chad Askew, for what would have been a touchdown.
That would have been a touchdown. He did a great read. He looked off the linebacker and the cornerback and came back with a bullet to the left on the slant pattern. And that's a bread and butter. We have a number of NFL teams run that same type of play. And as a quarterback, you can't come out the snap and just throw it, look to the left and throw it. You have to look off underneath the fence, linebackers, and get it to him. Here, you see him looking right quick and zipping it right in the gap. See, the linebacker, 57, was definitely going with his eyes, and that's what made the difference. K.D. Williams was definitely influenced by him looking right, and then Delhomme was able to put it in there.
Jake Delhomme, some people call maybe the young Cajun cannon out of USL from southwestern Louisiana, the all-time leader in Louisiana college passing history. Kid threw for over 9,000 yards at USL. Delhomme that time going in the end zone, again a touchdown pass, this time to Brett Best. So you get the Louisiana connection going there.
Yeah, that was a tight throw, but he really got it in there. But that's the kind of throws you have to make if you're going to be successful. And he wasn't too shy to get it in there, and he threw it low and away, and that's why he scored on that one.
Yeah, the one thing they've talked about Jake Delhomme all training camp is he is not shy. He's got a strong arm, and he's willing to use it.
Well, you have to be confident as a quarterback, and one thing he got going for him is he has a great accent. You know, talking to him, he felt like one of my homeboys, and you know, he's always watching me from afar, and I've heard of him, and I think he has a great opportunity to have a good career in the NFL.
Now, the two teams are going to continue switching sides. What we're going to do now is, as we told you before, not only is there the 7-on-7 action going on, but there's also one-on-one offensive line and defensive line drills going right now. And, Bobby, this is a great opportunity to really focus in on the Saints' offensive and defensive linemen.
Yeah, here's a situation where you get great players like a Leon Lett, Wayne Martin, who simply sometimes just dominate offensive linemen. Then you have offensive linemen who come off and smack the defense in the mouth. I mean, this is where if you like smash mouth football, this is where things are happening. Right now, they're working on a drill, stunt drills where ETs or Ts, what I mean by that, tackling in, exchanging assignments, and doing twist stunts and trying to get to the quarterback.
Wayne Martin and Jared Tomich working the stunt right there. Let's head down to the field where Joe Trahan is standing by, taking those things, an up-close look at the one-on-one drills. Joe?
That's right, Jimmy. We're down here looking at the defensive line drills. And there's been a lot of twists, a lot of stunts going on, and the Saints have looked pretty good in this work so far. Going up now, Brady Smith going, as well as Leroy Glover, and Glover has looked excellent. He's had a couple of bull rushes, knocking over the center once. Also, Jared Tomich getting in some good work as well. Earlier, he took on Williams and really knocked him on his behind. Jared loves the bull rush. He's got to work on some of his agility moves, but so far he's been doing pretty well down here on the one-on-one drills. Ricky Jackson, the city champ, giving his 2 cents in to all of his defensive line youngsters who are trying to study from him. And a lot of good hitting going on down here. The intensity level, a lot more than you would expect in a normal scrimmage. That, of course, because of all the fans who are here. And the fans have been a pretty good audience. Let's see what we got going now. The rookie, Julian Pittman, going up, as well as Austin Robbins. Again, they try and get the twist going there. A couple of young players still don't have that footwork down just right. That's not exactly what the Saints were looking for. We'll have more from the one-on-one drills later, but for now, let's throw it back up to you, Jimmy.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. And again, we are checking out the one-on-one drills right now. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, it'll be the goal line situation. And then in less than 15 minutes, it's scrimmage time. The New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys, they will be going head-to-head, and it is pure football at that point. It is as close to a game as we are going to be able to get. And right now we're checking out the Dallas Cowboys offense against the Saints defense. And one of the great things of a scrimmage situation like this for the fans is they can really isolate Bobby on what they want. If you want to watch the offensive line play, you can take a look at it. If you want to isolate in on a wide receiver and a defensive back, you can look at it at this point, can't you?
Yeah, if you growing up played offensive line, you might say, I don't care about the receivers, defensive backs, running backs. I want to come down here and watch the linemen. So you definitely can focus on that. If you're a skilled person, you're fast, you want to be a wide receiver, DB, you can look at this drill. And here we got the Cowboys in the red zone. They switch with the Saints, trying to go against the red zone defense that the Saints is putting as far as, you know, just the pass kill. It looks like the Cowboys are having success. The Saints have to be more aggressive in the red zone and play closer to the receiver. And here the Saints on this end, they're doing open field passing on 7-on-7.
All right, stick around. We'll have a lot more action from the Saints and the Cowboys scrimmage. The 7-on-7 will continue, and we're counting down to the full contact scrimmage right here live on Fox 8. Welcome back live to Independence Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana. Right here live on Fox 8 WVUE, we are bringing you live coverage of the Saints and the Dallas Cowboys scrimmage. Right now we're taking a look at 7-on-7 drills. Earlier we saw the New Orleans Saints in the red zone. Now the New Orleans Saints are getting that full field opportunity. And we told you earlier, we've got Billy Joe Hebert wired up. Let's take a listen as Billy Joe, he's not out there now, but just leading his team. And of course, Billy Joe Hebert.
Well done, home chicken.
You got first time I've heard the words home chicken used on our air, Bobby.
Yeah, it looks like that's just a compliment to me. It sounds like.
Tom, is this Z?
Well, he was saying a play Z something. Let's hear what he.
Now this right now is Danny Werfel in at quarterback. Danny Werfel looking over the middle to Derek Brown. Derek Brown drops the pass there.
Yeah, you got to make those kind of plays. Looks like initially that Danny wanted to go to the Z curl, and then I can hear Hebert in the backside.
I think we call it cover 5, right? Where they have man-to-man weak side and the strong side zone, overload zone.
See, they were overload zone to the 3 wide receiver side. And I think Hebert was saying that he should have initially went backside a little quicker, but then he came back to the back, and the running back still got to make the catch.
Yeah, and I think this gives people an idea. This is why a scrimmage like this is such a great teaching tool for these guys. You make a mistake here, it translates on the football field, but it's not going to hurt you in a game situation. Now we've got Jake Delhomme back, the former USL Cajun. He's in at quarterback, going deep down the left sideline. He's got a guy open, and Keith Poole takes it away from the defender and takes it in for what would have been a touchdown.
Nice ball, Snake. Good job. Okay.
They like to call Jake Delhomme Jake the Snake, and that was a great throw to Keith Poole. And Bobby, Keith Poole really is a guy that's been very impressive so far here in training camp.
He gets off the ball well, but he makes a great catch. He goes up, catches at the highest point, doesn't lose his balance, and goes in for the score. You know, Jake made a good throw getting it out there, but I think it was really a great catch by Poole, just going up and catching it at his highest point and going into the end zone.
Yeah, Mike Ditka's talked about him, and he always makes the reference to a Tom Waddle type of receiver. Again, Delhomme back to pass this time, looking across the middle. He's got an open guy, and this time he hits Chad Askew. He's a free agent out of the University of Pittsburgh. He was in training camp with the New York Jets back in 1996. And let's again listen to Billy Joe Hebert.
I didn't see anybody leading with it.
Yeah. Did the 5 have a shot?
I don't know. I was looking at the middle because the H-back, or was that H option or Y option? Is that a gold? Yeah, well, H had that middle seam. Oh, yeah, because that strong side safety came down.
And that's Billy Joe Hebert talking to the guy
of course,
in the
Danny
middle.
On film, he'll probably be,
is Heath Schuler. He's not playing in the scrimmage tonight. The far right is Danny Werfel.
Yeah, that's constantly going out throughout the game, throughout practice. You're communicating with one another because you want all the help you can get. You say, hey, what did you see? What did I see? You want to say the strong safety rotate strong, they rotate weak, and it's constantly going on throughout the game.
And one thing we've talked about is Keith Poole, but there's a lot of free agent wide receivers. This time it's Gunnar Twiner one-on-one, Bobby.
Well, here he is, just runs a flat slant route, and he goes to the ball as far as being aggressive towards the catch, and really that was too much cushion by the cornerback. And tell you what, Jake's been making some very accurate throws and getting the ball right in there.
Yeah, nobody's going to question the arm on Jake Delhomme. He can definitely throw the ball a little bit. Gunnar Twiner, the catch there, Mike Ditka said the other day he dropped a pass against the Green Bay Packers, and he said, hey, this isn't the Continental Football League. This isn't arena football. The NFL, you've got to make those catches. So this work is really crucial to a guy like Gunnar Twiner.
Oh, without a doubt. When you're on the border, whether you're going to make the team or not, you know, and you're playing under the lights, this is close like a game-like situation. Coach Ditka wants to see if you're going to make plays and in front of people and make things happen. And here he makes the catch. If he'd have dropped that type ball, who knows? He might not be here tomorrow. But you have to make the plays and you have the opportunity.
Now we want to remind people that Saints season tickets are still on sale. There are operators standing by tonight to get your season tickets and your phone calls. Still a chance to get in and check out the New Orleans Saints for the 1998 season. They've got some great package deals for the New Orleans Saints, and they've also got some really a great lineup of games coming up this year. And there are, again, operators standing by for the New Orleans Saints season ticket sales. Now, right now, Bobby, what we're going to be looking at is the goal line offense. We've already completed the 7-on-7 portion, and now we're going to check out. Let's take a listen to Mike Ditka. We also have Mike Ditka wired up, so let's listen to Mike Ditka on the sidelines also.
Yeah, Jim, this is definitely smash mouth football right here. Here's where you have to punch it in and control the line of scrimmage.
All right, Billy Joe Hebert is under center with the toss to the left side. He gives it to Lamar Smith. He breaks one tackle, ends up taking it out of bounds, and there really wasn't a lot of room for Lamar Smith on that play.
No, there wasn't a lot of room, but the play started off bad. Here you had a pitch, he's bobbling in, and you really can't get going. And if you want that play to be successful, it has to be quick hitting, and Lamar Smith has to get that outside, and he wasn't able.
All right, let's take a listen to Billy Joe Hebert live.
Strong right. Strong right. Z return 14, lead O. On one.
It's definitely, it sounds like a lead play by the fullback leading the halfback. That's what it looks like to me.
10! 477! 477, hunt!
Hebert hands the ball up straight up the middle, Aaron Craver. And one thing you don't want to see there is Aaron Craver come out without the football, and he didn't. Watch the line search here, Bobby Hebert.
Yeah, that's where the game is won and lost, in the trenches. Who's going to come off the ball here? The Cowboys definitely win, knock the Saints back, and I know Coach Dick won't be too pleased with that when they watch film.
All right, let's go back live and take a listen to Billy Joe Hebert again.
10! 540! 540, hunt!
Hebert with the play-action pass, touchdown to Ray Zellers.
Catch, for crying out loud. Why do I always got to make that so dang hard for them to catch when they're wide open?
Jim, you can hear.
Just keep it off his ankles.
You can hear Billy Joe. He's a little frustrated because he made an easy catch out of he made a hard catch. I mean, easy catch out of a hard catch, and so you got to get it in there. And it was a great play-action fake, and they just walked in the end zone. That was the difference in that play. Where the previous plays they'll run supporting hard.
Play.
And the great thing about Billy Joe Hebert, and right now we've got a handoff up the middle to Troy Davis, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. A great thing about Billy Joe Hebert is he really continues not only firing up this team, but he's willing to take blame for himself. A lot of times the quarterbacks, and you played it for a long time, aren't. They might point the finger at somebody else, but Billy Joe Hebert is willing to take the blame himself a lot of times.
Yeah, he's taking responsibility for his own actions, and as a quarterback or player, you got to lead the team, and you have to get on player and say, hey, you got to get the job done, and they're going to get on you, and that's all part of it.
All right, Danny Werfel now in at quarterback. Fred McCrary in along with number 21, Derek Brown in the backfield. Wilcox comes in motion. The toss is to Derek Brown on the outside, and he dives in for the score. Nice effort by Derek Brown.
Yeah, that was a great cut. He stretched out the defense, and he cut back in. That's why he was able to get an end zone. That was, pretty good blocking, but I'd say it was a better run.
A lot of times it comes down to a running back. Watch Derek. He's got to make this move, doesn't he?
You see, he caught the clean pitch, high step, cut inside, got the proper angle, and dove into the end zone. That was a lot of him making that happen.
And he's a guy that's really on the bubble to make this team, Bobby.
Right, that's the kind of play that Coach Dick expects him to make if he's going to be on the team. And he comes through when he has the opportunity just now.
All right, stick around. We've got a lot more of this scrimmage action coming up. And when we get back in just a couple of more minutes, we'll get to the live full contact scrimmage right here live from Shreveport, Louisiana. Welcome back to Independence Stadium, Shreveport, Louisiana. We are less than 10 minutes away from the full contact scrimmage between the New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys. And right now, the teams are going at it in goal line situations. The Dallas Cowboys have the ball. They are going up against the New Orleans Saints defense. And right now, we've got a lot of the number ones in for the New Orleans Saints on defense. So, Bobby Hebert, let's check it out. Jason Garrett in a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Chris Warner in the backfield. The handoff goes to Warren straight up the middle, and he takes it in strong for the touchdown. And Bobby, that's just good blocking up front.
Yeah, the Cowboys are definitely controlling the line of scrimmage in the goal line situation. It looks like a fight's breaking out.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay here, Bobby, and talk about just the push up front by the Dallas Cowboys. And that's the same thing that happened the other night against the Green Bay Packers.
See, I think they were slow to react, the linebackers, and Chris Warren just shifted, pretending he was going outside and cut back in and just practically almost walked in the end zone. But that was primarily one in the line of scrimmage, and I don't think Coach Dick was too pleased with that. because they weren't coming off the ball. The Cowboys are controlling the line of scrimmage in a goal line situation.
Yeah, you've got the New Orleans Saints. Some of their number ones are in at this point. Some of their backups are in at this point. You're going to see a mix because they're going to try and play a lot of guys. But Mike Ditka's never going to be happy in that type of situation.
No, the one thing I know Coach Ditka wants to do, he wants to stop the run and to be able to run the football. And I think that was one of the most disappointing things when they weren't able to stop the run against the Packers. And I know he's not going to be pleased with that goal line situation there.
All right, we're going to take another commercial break because we are just moments away from the live full contact scrimmage here in Shreveport between the Saints and the Dallas Cowboys. So stick around here live on Fox 8. Play of the scrimmage between the Saints and the Dallas Cowboys. Billy Joe Hebert hands off to Lamar Smith. In the starting backfield, he breaks a couple of tackles and takes it outside. Now, we did miss the first play of the scrimmage. We want to bring it back to you and give you an idea what you missed. The first play of the scrimmage, Billy Joe Hebert goes deep down the right sideline to Andre Hastings. That was a pass interference call, so that's why we've got the ball down this far. Let's start the Saints starting offensive line. William Rofe, Isaac Davis, Andy McCullum in at center. Right guard is Chris Nioli, and at right tackle is Clarence Jones. Your backs and receivers, Aaron Craver and Ray Zellers. Right now, though, Lamar Smith is in the backfield. Billy Joe Hebert with the handoff to Lamar Smith. He kicks it to the outside, breaks the tackle, and takes it to the outside and picks up a gain of about 5 yards to the outside. Billy Joe Hebert is the Saints starting quarterback. As we told you earlier, we have him wired for sound, so let's take a listen.
First and 10 New Orleans at the Cowboy 12-yard line.
Eye right, check with me, Blunt, on 3. On 3.
Jim, I think eye right check would be Blunt. Definitely a running play to Lamar Smith. He had a good run on this play, second play of the game by 7 yards.
All right, it's a first and 10 situation. Ball's at the 12-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hun!
Smith kicks it to the outside, breaks one tackle, and runs it out of bounds. And that's really not much of a gain at all.
No, it was the same type play they ran the second play of the game, and they got 7 yards. This play, the Cowboys played really great and just ran them out of bounds and didn't let them cut inside.
Give people an idea what Billy Joe Hebert meant to this team when he came back, when he finally started the final 4 games of the regular season. You see the record. Most importantly, look at the points. The team averaged over 5 points more a game. Total yards went from 233 to 310. Passing yards from 146 to 207. You can see every one of those stats. Big gains for the New Orleans Saints and Billy Joe Hebert when he was in there at quarterback for this team. Let's get back to live action right now. Billy Joe Hebert back to pass this time, and he gets a big rush, ducks underneath it, hits the complete pass to his tight end, number 47, Josh Wilcox, for the touchdown for the New Orleans Saints.
Good job.
Yeah, that was a great play, just Billy Joe stepping up and making the great pass. I think Leon Lett is saying, well, he eased up, I think I had him. Leon Lett's a great pass rusher. Billy Joe did a great job. Here he is.
Yeah, when Billy Joe Hebert, we told you it wasn't live on the quarterback, but it certainly looked light on this play.
Yeah, here he is. I think he definitely fooled Leon Lett. Leon Lett came in high thinking he's going to bat the ball down, and Billy Joe just ducked right up underneath and just stepped up and made the play.
Let's take a listen to Billy Joe Hebert on this play, Bobby.
There you go. He wouldn't have got me, would he? He wouldn't have got me, would he? Oh, man.
He wants to check with that referee, see if he got the sack. You getting hits like that when you played, Bobby?
Oh, without a doubt. Here you got Leon Lett flying through, and he's not going to miss you too many times. So you want to know, is that a realistic play? Would he have gotten it or not gotten it?
Give you an idea of this scrimmage. Now, the way it works for the New Orleans Saints is they get 10 plays. They have run 7 plays so far. So the New Orleans Saints have 3 plays left in this possession. Then they will turn the ball over to the Dallas Cowboys. So now it's a 1st and 10 situation. 7th play of the drive. Saints start at their own 35-yard line. Pitch goes to the outside. This time it's to Aaron Craver. Picks up good yardage for Craver. Takes it out to about an 8-yard gain for Aaron Craver there.
Yeah, here he just goes outside in a quick pitch, and they're basically, look at the whole Saints offensive unit, they're looking so much better than they did against the Green Bay Packers. They look like they're playing well together, and that's the difference so far in the few plays they've run.
That's Saints tight end Josh Wilcox limping around right there. The play of Nicky Savoie and Marcus Hinton. He is actually getting the start. He's a free agent out of the University of Oregon, and he is the Saints starting tight end tonight. All right, it brings up a 2nd and 4 situation for the New Orleans Saints.
137, hunt.
Hebert with the handoff to Craver. Almost stopped in the backfield, but Craver with a nice move, and he picks up the first down.
Here you can see just a great run by Craver. You see, as dominating a player as Leon Lett is here, he just busts through the line. He actually had the guy, Craver, thrown for a loss, and Craven just comes in there and makes a great run and gets the first down.
Aaron Craver is a free agent. Now that, well, they're going to say, did he make it or not? It looked to me like he made it, and it is. It's a first down situation, first down run for Aaron Craver. So now it's a 1st and 10 play for the New Orleans Saints. Now the ball at their own 45-yard line. Billy Joe Hebert still in a quarterback. Craver is in the backfield along with Lamar Smith.
There you go.
Hebert, play action pass. Sprints it to the outside, this time to Craver, and he's run out of bounds by number 26, the Cowboys, Kevin Smith.
Did you hear Billy Joe say, man, where are you coming from? Leon Lett has been through the line the last 3 plays in a row, but he's that dominating a player. I think if he can stay out of trouble, he's the best defensive lineman in the league.
And he's certainly a very good test for the New Orleans Saints. Brings up a 2nd down situation for the New Orleans Saints.
Hot left, Saints. H smash on one. On one.
H smash, just the sound of the play. It has to be a running play, Jim.
10, 599, 599.
Nope. So a smash route. That's what the China route. Oh, I should have had the first.
Bobby, what happened there?
Well, it looks like Billy Joe read the blitz at the right play on at the right time, and if they moved Craver out of the backfield, he should have had the first on that.
Yeah, that's a situation where he's going to go outside to Aaron Craver on that play. Again, we will continue going back and forth to Billy Joe Hebert, so you can take you inside the game and take a listen to the plays as they go on.
You got to be inside the 20.
Let's go double right, H return. Turn left, fake 30, jet Y on one. On one, up. Hey, if it's 3 deep, go seam.
3 deep go seam is definitely a pass play.
All right, let's take a listen how it goes.
He's telling the tight end if it's 3 deep, he's hit him in the seam. Looks like it will be 3 deep.
Monday.
Monday, that means the snap counts on 1.
48.
Hebert back to pass play action. Looking down the right sideline. One-on-one for Andre Hastings, but the ball is overthrown.
And I think initially he was looking for the tight end down the middle, but the tight end got sucked up and he had to go outside to the seam.
And Bobby, we've got a man down on the field right now. A Dallas Cowboy player has been injured, and he's down on the field. Let's take a look right now at the replay, though.
Well, it looks like if Billy Joe could have really stepped and thrown the ball, Hastings had the defensive back beat. And I think Coach Dick was upset with that because he makes a good throw and he could have had a big play.
I didn't see a lick of it.
All you want to do is keep going and then control your speed. If he's going to run in, you control your speed, but keep your body between him and the ball.
All right. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Hey.
Yeah, you heard Billy Joe there. He could.
Checking me punt. I didn't know if you wanted me to check out of that or not. I wanted to check to a pass.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Oh, man. They're playing off coverage with everybody up. That was a gimme. So, man, I'll tell you what. I wasn't sure what the parameters were of this little scrimmage here. I wanted to check out of 2 of those plays. That turn left, I would have never even done the play fake with that safety coming up.
You're the guy. You got to call that. We're getting fall along. You do it.
All right, good. Fine. That's all you have to say.
I don't. You and I talking. Don't ever be afraid of an athlete over here. I don't care who it is.
Who's that?
No, listen to me carefully. I'm just talking.
Back up.
Because sometimes, and I know you're not that kind of guy.
That's Billy Joe Hebert talking to offensive coordinator Danny Abramo.
Great athlete.
Yeah. Did we have one open over there? Oh, okay.
No, I'm just talking.
Let's reset the scrimmage for you now. The Saints have finished their 10-play set. Dallas Cowboys on offense. They hand the ball off straight up the middle to Emmitt Smith. He picks up a couple of yards on the play. And that's really the way the scrimmage format is going to go. The New Orleans Saints get 10 plays, their first-team offense against the Cowboys' first-team defense. And now the Cowboys will be on offense, checking their offense. Emmitt Smith, Darryl Johnson, and fullback wide receivers tonight are Michael Irvin and Ernie Mills. The tight end out of LSU is David LaFleur. And, of course, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys is number 8, Troy Aikman. And there's a lot of big names on that Cowboys offense.
Yeah, it could almost be like the NFC Pro Bowl. You hear all these names. They've had probably more than half of these guys have been in the Pro Bowl already. So this is a big test for the Saints defense, especially having a poor performance against the Packers.
Let's continue listening in. We'll
Usually
give
we'll have
you
nobody for
the
him.
broadcast as we go, but we also want to try and take you as much inside
That's
to the
stupid on my
sidelines
part.
as we can also. So we'll
Thank you,
continue
Ricky.
watching. We'll continue watching the
dumb on
Dallas
my part.
Cowboys as we go, but
I
you
love
will
being
hear
honest about
underneath
it, right?
this entire broadcast the voices of a Mike Ditka and a Billy Jehovah. Brings up a 2nd and 8 situation for the Dallas Cowboys. Trautman again in at quarterback, Emmitt Smith in as the solo back. Receiver comes in motion to the right side. Aikman back to pass. Looking across the middle. He has a receiver wide open. That is Michael Irvin, number 88.
That's a Pro 4 right there. We got to watch that on film.
And Michael Irvin just did a simple curl right there. Looks like the Saints are in his own defense, Bob.
Yeah, there was definitely too much soft cushion by the cornerback up there. I mean, I know you have to have respect for Michael Irvin, but you got to be more aggressive and attack. You can't be passive, and in that particular coverage, your two passes.
Get a nice wide and then slid into the hole.
Brings up a 1st down and 10 situation for the Dallas Cowboys at the right at the 50-yard line. Aikman, handoff goes to Emmitt Smith, picks up a couple of yards. Ball is taken away right there by number 55, Mark Fields, and that will be a touchdown for the New Orleans Saints. Very reminiscent of that play against the Rams last year when he took the ball just away from Craig Hayward.
Jim, I think they're all stunned. They say, hey, the whistle was blown, but it looks like he did the same thing like he did against the Rams.
All right, they're going to say that ball was whistled dead, and they're going to bring that back, but still a phenomenal athletic play by number 55, Mark Fields.
Here you can see Mark Fields just reading the play. Wayne Martin gets spun around, makes a stop. Mark just comes in there, and he knows I'm going to go and grab that ball, and he's so strong. I mean, here's a guy, he has so much ability and more experience, he might be outlawed in the NFL.
And I got to tell you, that was definitely a touchdown. So it sets up a 2nd and 10 situation for the Dallas Cowboys. Aikman back to pass once again, looking across the middle for his big tight end, David LaFleur out of LSU, but LaFleur drops the pass.
See, LaFleur's supposed to be a big part of the Cowboys offense this year, and you can't miss that. Then he's wide open. Again, the Saints' coverage is still too soft. They have to be more aggressive, even though they play in zone coverage. It looked like there was some confusion with the linebacker position. I don't know if Kevin Mitchell should have been closer, but he definitely had too much cushion on that play.
All right, brings up a 3rd and 10 situation for the Dallas Cowboys on the Saints' 49-yard line. Chris Warren goes into the backfield now for the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a 4 wide receiver set. They're in the shotgun formation, something that Chan Gailey has brought to this team. Aikman back to pass. Pass rusher on him. This time swings it out to his back, Chris Warren. He is knocked out of bounds at the Saints' 41-yard line, and I don't think that's a 1st down, Bobby.
No, it looks like that the Saints did just enough. You want to keep him under the sticks, break up on the ball, and make him force Aikman to throw it to the back, and he came up and make the play. And Tyrone Drakeford definitely had the proper coverage then to come up and stop the 1st down, where early on this drive he had too much cushion, but he definitely made the play on that particular play.
Now here's the way the scrimmage works. Since there's not a 1st down, they will bring it back now, and they start it all over again for the Dallas Cowboys. They will now take it a 1st and 10 situation at the 35-yard line. Checking out the Saints starting defense, Jared Tomich at left end, Wayne Martin, and then you've got the rest of those defensive linemen, including Leroy Glover up front and Brady Smith. The linebackers are Richard Harvey, Mark Fields, and we've got Andre Royal in there now. Alex Molden, Tyrone Drakeford, Chad Cota, and Sammy Knight are the Saints secondary. Again, a 1st and 10 situation for the Dallas Cowboys. Emmitt Smith now back in the backfield. 85, Stefford Williams comes in motion. Aikman back to pass, swings it out of the backfield to Emmitt Smith, and he's brought down right there again by number 55, Mark Fields. He's putting on a show.
He was almost too out of control. He is so fast. Sometimes I don't think he realizes his speed. And to show you his arm strength, he just kind of shoe tackled Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt went down. So that's just a phenomenal play by Mark Fields.
Let's isolate now in a number 50, Kevin Mitchell. Brian Jones was the Saints starting middle linebacker, but now Kevin Mitchell's getting an opportunity here today.
Yeah, here is Kevin Mitchell. He was in perfect position if Emmitt would have broken the tackle by Fields, but he comes up and makes a stop, and that's what you have to do as the middle linebacker.
That brings up a 2nd and 14 situation for the Dallas Cowboys and their quarterback, Troy Aikman. He hands the ball from the middle, little draw play to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt's got some room to run. Smith breaks it to the middle, and it is on a foot race. He is brought down from behind by Tyrone Drakeford, number 22. Big hole, though, for Emmitt Smith.
That looked like the Emmitt of old. If you see on the replay, he was unbelievable there, how he shook the linebacker, froze him. That looked like the Emmitt Smith of old. He looks very healthy on that run, and it was a great play just to keep him from scoring. Here's the replay, him in an open field, and that was just a great tackle, because that was a touchdown without a doubt. But number 22, Tyrone Drake, out of nowhere to make the play.
He comes all the way from the other side. Excellent effort. A 46-yard gain for Emmitt Smith, but Drakeford fights off the play there and really makes a nice effort.
Yeah, you know, the offensive receiver coach for the Cowboys will be on Mike Urban. Look, if you stay on Drakeford, we have a touchdown, and he didn't, and Drakeford made a great play to stop Emmitt Smith.
Brings up a 1st and 10 situation for the Cowboys now at the Saints' 15-yard line. Aikman back to pass. He's got a lot of time. Swings it out to his back. That is number 42, Chris Warren. And he picks up a couple of yards before he's brought down by number 25, Alex Molden.
You know, that was a great open field tackle by Alex Molden. And sometimes, you know, playing against Alex Molden in the past, I thought he had to be more aggressive. But that was an aggressive tackle, but really right there, Troy Aikman had too much time to throw. The Saints got to put a lot more pressure. He went to like 3rd, 4th receiver before he was able to dump it. And you got to put a lot more pressure on Aikman. He'll kill you and drive down the field every time. Yeah,
nice play by Alex Molden stepping up there, but Troy Aikman will nail you. Brings up a 2nd and 7 situation. Pick up 3 yards on that play. This is the 9th play of the drive, so the Cowboys going to try and punch it in the next 2. They only get 10 before they are out. The backs, Chris Warren and Moose Johnson. Handoff goes to Chris Warren, and he is stopped dead by the New Orleans Saints defensive line.
Yeah, that was a great total effort. We definitely controlled line of scrimmage. That play, Richard Harvey, it looks like, stepped out on the outside and really plugged the hole in. And Coach Ditka would definitely be pleased with that drill in the film.
Yeah, Leroy Glover's another guy that also makes that play there. A little light. Mike Ditka's compared him to a John Randall, number 97.
Yeah, if you quick enough and strong enough, you don't have to be 320 pounds. But here you hear Coach Ditka hollering, watch the draw, watch the draw. But I think they're going to try and throw a pass here and put it in the end zone.
It brings up a 3rd and 6 situation. Ball is on the New Orleans Saints 11-yard line. Again, Troy Aikman, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
And they're using the shotgun, Jim. They haven't used that at all in Aikman's career.
Aikman going across the middle of the slant pattern for number 87, Billy Davis, but the ball goes incomplete, thrown a little behind him.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't a typical Troy Aikman pass. I just think he threw it behind him, and we just had pretty good coverage in there, and the Saints come up big and stop him.
All right, stick around. We're going to take a break, but when we get back, the New Orleans Saints' 2nd-team offense will take the field live from Shreveport between the Saints and the Dallas Cowboys. Richie Cunningham attempting a 29-yard field goal for the Dallas Cowboys, and it is good. That makes the score the New Orleans Saints 6, the Dallas Cowboys 3. Now here's the reason they set that up with the field goal. The way the scrimmage works is since they got inside the 20, they're going to give these 2 teams an opportunity to work their special teams under live conditions, so they got a chance to work the field goal in that time. Let's take a listen to Mike Ditka on the sidelines. Now here's the way it's going to work. The New Orleans Saints' 2nd-team offense now goes into the game.
Hey, they will argue about it when it's the Super Bowl. Not now. This doesn't matter.
Mike Ditka didn't expect that they were going to kick this field goal. He thought once they had stopped him, they'd bring the ball back.
What do you get here? Yeah.
All right, the New Orleans Saints now, their 2nd-team offense gets it 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Danny Werfel in at quarterback. Ray Zellers and Troy Davis are the backs. The handoff goes to Troy Davis, number 28, makes a nice cut and picks up about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, that's a nice positive play. If you can consistently do that, get 3.5 yards on every run, I mean, that's what you're looking for in the NFL. That was a good positive play, and Coach Dick would be real pleased with that.
Danny Werfel in at quarterback now. The 96 Heisman Trophy winner out of the University of Florida. Last season really came off the bench, played fairly well for this team at times, and this is good opportunity, good chance for him to get his action. All right, brings up a 2nd and 7 situation. Ball now on the 38-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Hebert with the play action fake, rolls out with the pass just off the hands of Ray Zellers.
You know, you can't blame Ray there. That was just a poor throw by Danny. Those are the kind of plays you can't miss. You have to hit 100% on those, and it was a great play action fake. Zellers is wide open, and Wolf has to hit him in the chest. Here you hear Coach Dick say, wasn't he open?
Now, with a year under his belt to learn the system and get used to being a pro, we had a chance to talk to Danny Werfel, and he said he feels like a different player in 1998.
I think absolutely in a lot of different ways. I think one, just being comfortable in the NFL is a big step. You know, you got a lot of things thrown at you your rookie year. You don't know anybody. You're meeting the players, meeting the coaches, understanding the speed of the game, and so it just takes a while to step in. Plus, I think just as a quarterback, I've improved in the offseason. I think I'm throwing the ball a little better and so forth. So I think I'm better suited this year than I was last year, and again, for whatever role that is yet to be seen.
That was a 3rd and 7 situation for Danny Werfel. He swings the ball out in the backfield to Ray Zellers. He is stopped short of the first down, but we do have a flag on the play.
Jim, it looks like illegal use of the hands on that play. It looks like the Saints are trying to run a swing screen with a couple of lead blockers, and the Cowboys smelled it pretty good, and really we didn't get a positive gain.
Let's run quickly down to the sideline to Joe Trahan for an injury update. Joe?
Yeah, a couple of notes, injury notes for you, Jim. Drakeford, he limped off the field after that long run by Emmitt Smith. He had to retape his left ankle. It looks like he should be ready for more action if they need him. And also, Alex Molden has been bothered with his right shoulder. The training staff just worked on him for about 5 minutes. Not exactly sure what the extent of that injury is. We'll update you if we get more details. Back to you.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. Penalty brings up a 3rd and 14 situation for the New Orleans Saints. Ball now on the 30-yard line. Ray Zellers in as a solo back for the Saints. They've got the 3 wide receiver system in now.
Yeah, I got to take the penalty. 35, first down.
I think what Coach Dick is saying, they don't have to take the penalty. They just took the play because they stopped the Saints and they wouldn't have had a first down anyway. So I think they're just going to start the series over and have 1st and 10 from the 35.
What do you got here?
Yeah, that's one of the things a lot of people, when you're watching a scrimmage, there are a lot of things that are going to just happen on the fly. These teams are going to make decisions. Sometimes they'll say it's a 3rd down. Other times they're going to say, hey, let's just go ahead and start it up again. So the Saints will now reset it. It'll be a 1st and 10 situation. Ball's at the 35-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. And again, they were stopped once after 3 plays. Now this is the 4th play of their drive.
Looks like we're in a 2 tight end set, Jim.
Yeah, Kadre Ismail and Keith Pullen and the wide receiver. Handoff goes to Ray Zellers. Take him to the outside. Not a lot of room to run. Zellers did break 1 tackle, but he's brought down by a host of tacklers. Right now, let's head down to the sidelines and Joe Trahan, who's standing by with Saints running back Aaron Craver. Joe?
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Aaron, out of 6 plays with the first team, you saw the ball 4 times. Talk about how the offense felt to you.
It feels good. Last week I was a little tired after the first few plays, and this week the offensive line, they blocked decent last week, and they got better this week, which is something we have to do. But for me, I'm getting a chance to touch the ball a lot. I'm having fun, and I'm getting in game shape.
Did you feel like the offensive line got off the ball better tonight than it did against Green Bay?
Definitely. This is the 2nd time out, and they were kind of pissed about what happened last game. In this game, they came off the ball, and they want to prove that we can play against anybody, and they're showing it out here against some great defensive linemen.
Thanks so much, Saints running back Aaron Craver. Jim, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Joe Trahan. Danny Werfel sacked. He is brought down by number 94, Michael Myers, a rookie out of the University of Alabama, and number 91, Darren Benson. That was a 2nd and 9 situation, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 16 situation, Bobby Hebert.
Jim, it looks like if he'd been looking at the right place, he could have made a big play. Number 49, Marcus Hinton, had the man-to-man coverage, be down the sideline, but Wolf was looking left. He didn't have a chance to come back right. Therefore, he was sacked.
All right, again, it's a 3rd and 16 situation. Ball now back on the Saints' 29-yard line. Danny Werfel still in at quarterback. Ray Zellers in a solo set, and it's a 3 wide receiver set for the New Orleans Saints. Werfel back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, almost brought down. And the way a scrimmage works, since it's not live on the quarterback, they're going to call that a sack by number 91, Darren Benson.
I think that could have been a kill shot right then if Darren Benson really would have squared up and hit Werfel. But, they just kind of coming right by him. And just see, he really could have tagged him right there, and he just kind of eased up. And that's what they're going to call a sack in this type of scrimmage, because you got to keep the quarterbacks healthy for the season.
All right, so the Saints now have missed on 2 opportunities here with their 2nd-team offense. Again, the way it works is they go back to a 1st and 10 situation now at the New Orleans Saints 35-yard line. They reset it once again.
I think this is a real important series for Wolf, where he can get some confidence going and make plays right here coming up.
All right, running backs in now. Ray Zellers and Troy Davis in. And we've got a flag on the play.
Usually it looks like with the Saints walking backwards, it must be legal motion, legal procedure by the offensive line.
Yeah, so that will bring up a 1st and 15 situation on the 30-yard line after this call.
Offside.
Oh, no, looks like the Cowboys are offside. Wolfel must have been done a great job with the snap count because they definitely were coming upfield.
Yeah, watching the replay
you can see him giving a
here,
hard count.
Right, you can see number 91 Benson and number 94 Myers both jumping offside. So now that will bring up a 1st and 5 situation for the New Orleans Saints. Ball's now at the 40-yard line.
I heard Coach Dick, it sounded like they might be running a trap up the middle.
7th play of the Saints drive. Poole coming in motion. Werfel with the handoff, goes straight up the middle is Troy Davis, number 28. Picks up a gain of about 4 yards.
Yeah, that's a good positive play, and that's what you have to have. Okay, we're going to ISO here on Davis and see the cut he makes. It looks like he makes a pretty good cut, and the line blocked well. See, just a counter step. Here's Davis, makes a great cut. Good positive play. And that's what you have to have. Here's a situation coming up, 2nd and short. You keep the defense off balance, not knowing if it's a pass or a run.
2nd and 2 for the New Orleans Saints. Ball now on the 43-yard line. Werfel gives the hand up straight up the middle to number 34, Ray Zellers, and he is brought down, and he loses a yard.
Stay in the hole!
You hear Coach Dick is screaming, stay in the hole, and he's thinking about you 2nd and 2. You can't bounce those kind of plays. You got to hit it quick, get the 1st down, and that's what he's so mad about on that particular play.
Well, the Saints wanted to work on some of their short yardage situations. They're going to get it. It's now a 3rd and 2 situation. Ball's now again at the 43-yard line.
Danny, you got the whole field over here. Should be left. It doesn't matter. They got to learn to do it both ways.
I think what Coach Dick is saying should be left. We should be in a left formation with the tight end to the wide side. It looks like we're in a right formation. See what happens.
All right, play action pass by Werfel, sprint out pass. Pass is attempted to go to number 34, Ray Zellers, but that is incomplete, and Ray almost gets his head taken off.
Yeah, that was pretty good coverage.
I'm going to tell you a couple plays here on the next series. What do you got? What do we run? 9 plays. I don't like what we're doing. I'll be honest with you. I don't like anything we're doing. Give me 12 personnel. Give me 12 personnel. Take 30, 55 jet. That's what I want. 12. 30, 55 jet. I want to push the ball down the field. I'm not embarrassed of you. Let's do it down the field 3 times. Are you embarrassed of me?
All right, Mike Ditka and Danny Abramowitz, and those are the things that are going to go on in the ball game. It's now back to a 4th down situation. Back to a 1st down situation for the New Orleans Saints. They're going to reset it. It's the 9th play of their drive, now at the 35-yard line. Danny Werfel still in at quarterback. Play action pass. He's looking down the sideline. Deep out pattern to Condre Ismail, and that ball is incomplete.
Yeah, that's definitely when you got to get the mustard on in that out pattern. And, Coach Dicker, he's a competitor. He's saying we wanted to run a jet type pattern, so you knew he was going to push the ball down the field.
You had to naked right now. You had to naked right now. Immediately. I mean, I can't tell, but he was wide open immediately. The naked. That one before? No, the naked, the first one. That's all. When you had the 9 route, you got to throw the ball right now. You had 93. So throw the ball to the outside guy right now. He beat him. You're not going to get any more than that. Just let it up. You got man-to-man. You're not going to get any better than man-to-man.
Jim, you can see Coach Dick giving Werfel a few pointers, and he definitely knows football. And all you have to do is just look at it as constructive criticism and make plays the next time and make things happen.
All right, Dallas Cowboys now take over on offense. It's 1st and 10 in a quarterback. Number 8, Troy Aikman, actually staying in there. Originally, we thought they would go with their 2nd-teamers, but the Dallas Cowboys are staying with their 1st-teamers in this 2nd scrimmage. Let's take a look at number 50, Keith Mitchell. Bobby.
Yeah, that was a great play, pass defensive play right there by Sammy Knight. Here he is just diving across and knocking the ball. That was a pretty good throw by Troy Aikman there, and I think the Cowboys have their 1st unit in there because they want to try and get a touchdown. They're trying to get some confidence going. They only scored 3 points against the Raiders, so that's why I think they're still in the game, Jim.
All right, brings up a 2nd and 10 situation for Aikman, and the Cowboys ball still on the 35-yard line. Aikman, play action pass, looking to the left sideline. Good defense there by Alex Molden. Molden stepping in front of number 85, Ernie Mills, and breaking that pass up.
Jim, that's what Alex Molden has to do more of. Here he is. He was aggressive, no soft cushion. He stepped up, made the play. That's like a Deion Sanders, Kevin Smith type of play, and that's what you have to do. You see, he read the play, reacted quickly. You couldn't ask for better coverage. If he does that consistently, that's why he was drafted in the 1st round, the 10th pick.
Yeah, those are the kind of plays you're going to make in your 3rd year in the NFL. You got to step up. Exactly. All right, that brings up a 3rd and 10 situation for the Dallas Cowboys. Their 3rd play of the drive, ball still at the 35-yard line. Chris Warren in as the solo set. Cowboys again in the shotgun offense, 4 wide receiver formation. Aikman Takes the snap from the shotgun, looking across the middle, and he's got number 88, Michael Irvin, right at the 50-yard line. Nice throw, nice catch.
Yeah, Jim, that was really too much time to throw. We got to get more pressure, especially, you know, the Cowboys are throwing is 3rd and 10, and you just got to put more pressure on the quarterback. Aikman had too much time to throw. You can see just Aikman stepping up in the pocket. And Mullen's a couple of steps behind Michael Irvin, but you really got to get more pressure on Aikman. There's just too much time to throw.
16-yard gain for the Dallas Cowboys brings up a 1st and 10 situation. Ball now at the New Orleans Saints 49-yard line. Cowboys now back in the standard formation. You've got Moose Johnson and Emmitt Smith in as the backs. Handoff goes to Emmitt Smith, and he takes it straight up the right side for a gain of about 7 yards. He's brought down on the play by number 50, Kevin Mitchell.
Yeah, Jim, that was still too much yardage. You're giving up 7 yards in a run. You can't have it. Here you can see Talmadge. He really initially comes off the ball good, but you got to get rid of the offensive line. Here's LaFleur from LSU, who does a great job on him, locking up, staying with him. That's why they were able to get a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, David LaFleur's a big guy, 6'7", 286 out of LSU. 2nd and 5 now, ball on the 44-yard line. Smith with the handoff again. The cutback runner, and he's got room to run. Smith taking inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line of the New Orleans Saints.
Jim, I think he kind of humbled Sammy Knight a little bit right there. Emmitt Smith looks like the Emmett of old in 2 particular runs. Here, Sammy Knight's in there to make the tackle. He just gets frozen by a move by Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt's around him in a second. And you got to come and make those plays when you have that opportunity.
Mark Fields coming up with the tackle for the New Orleans Saints. That's another 1st down for the Dallas Cowboys 1st team unit. So it's now again a 1st and 10 situation, ball at the 33-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Saints running a quick substitution in. This is now the 6th play of a 10-play drive for the Dallas Cowboys. Handoff goes to Emmitt Smith, breaking right up the middle, and he's got room to run again.
Jim, I can tell you right now, Coach Ditka will not be pleased those last 3 running plays. That's what he definitely doesn't want. He wants to be able to stop the run, and the Cowboys are definitely controlling the line of scrimmage these last 3 plays. And the Saints need to take pride in that. I mean, here you have whoever's playing middle linebacker, they need to stand up and be the leader. Here you can see the hole. I mean, Emmitt Smith's a great back, but you'd have a lot of running backs who can run through that hole and gain the yards that he just gained. We got to control line of scrimmage and come off better.
All right, again, a 1st and 10 situation now for the Dallas Cowboys. Ball's at the 22-yard line. It's the 7th play of this drive. Aikman back to pass, going across the middle. Incomplete, ball broken up, big stick by number 24, Rob Kelly of the Saints.
Yeah, at the time, I think Fred Weary was beat, and Rob Kelly helped him out and make a big hit.
That's what they call in the NFL a blow-up on Billy Davis, isn't it?
Right, here it is, Aikman back. Looks like he throws a pretty good ball, right on the money. Then I think he heard footsteps at Rob Kelly, but looks like he still would have missed it initially. Fred Weary didn't have that bad of coverage, but you can't let him get inside with that type of technique.
Yeah, that would have been an incomplete pass, but Kelly certainly coming up with the crowd-pleasing big hit. Brings up a 2nd and 10 situation now. Ball on the 22-yard line. It's the 8th play of the drive. Emmitt Smith again with the handoff. Check that. Chris Warren now into the game. He gets the handoff, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. And, Bobby, one thing to note now, you will notice that the New Orleans Saints now have their 2nd team. Oh, I got a little fisticuffs. Guys are fighting for jobs out there, aren't they?
Oh, exactly. It's do or die for some of these guys. And in the heat of the battle, hey, I want to show the coach that I'm ready to play and I'm going to dominate. Sometimes you get a few punches thrown in there, and hey, it's just like a game situation. Some of these guys know they have to impress the coach when they get the opportunity, so they're not going to take anything from the opponent, especially these guys aren't their teammates, so they're definitely going to be more aggressive than if they were practicing against each other.
Right, Dallas Cowboys 1st team offense in now, 3rd and 8 situation. It's the 9th play of the drive. Saints, Trey Aikman doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to call a timeout. New Orleans Saints actually have their 2nd teamers in now for most of this scrimmage and been holding up pretty well. Stick around. We're going to come back with more live coverage of this scrimmage between the Saints and the Dallas Cowboys live here on Fox 8.
The Cooper Cheerleaders are on their way down.
Welcome back live to Shreveport, Louisiana. Saints and the Dallas Cowboys scrimmage just still underway. That was the 9th play of the Dallas Cowboys drive. Troy Aikman swinging it out to his wide receiver. A little trickery there to number 88, Michael Irvin, and he picks up the first down.
Yeah, Jim, that was definitely a Chan Gailey play as far as the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, you haven't seen Michael Irvin in the back, as far as a running back position in the past, and here they are in the shotgun. Give him a little swing screen, and he picks up the first down.
All right, now this is the 10th play of the Cowboys drive. It's now a first and goal situation. Ball's at the 7-yard line. Johnston and Warren in the backfield for the Cowboys. Aikman with the handoff to Warren. Takes it to the right side. Tries to kick it outside. He's got room. Dives for the end zone. Looking for the... And the referee does not give the signal. He is stopped by the New Orleans Saints defense at the goal line.
He's got a lot more stature in this league than many people out in the street for 24.
Yeah, Jim, it looks like...
Now watch him stick the ball here. Again, the handoff goes to Chris Warren. Bobby picked it up from there.
Here, 23. You cannot let him get outside. That was we would have stopped that play. That was the primary why they had a positive play there. Number 23, let him get outside, and just can't have that. And it was Chris Hewitt, who's been playing well, had a great game against Green Bay, but he had the improper angle, and he was letting him get outside. He just can't do that. Here they would have had a play, maybe a 1-yard gain. Now they have first and goal ready to score. Second and goal right on the 1-foot line.
You've got a second and goal situation. Ball's at the 1-foot line. Tarek Smith now in at running back for the Cowboys. He gets the handoff and goes up and over for the touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I think that's what Coach Gailey was looking at, getting the first unit to get a drive going and score a touchdown for the Cowboys, since they haven't scored against the Raiders, and the Saints stopped them on the first drive, held them to a field goal. So I think he wanted to get some continuity going. And the Saints had some good defensive stops, but they had far too many breakdowns on giving up 3 good runs by Emmitt Smith on that particular drive.
Yeah, the Cowboys come through and score the touchdown on the 10th and final play of that drive. Tarek Smith, the rookie out of the University of California, goes up and over for the touchdown, and the Dallas Cowboys take a 9-6 lead in this scrimmage.
Here, it's just a basic lead play, and it's kind of hard to stop that when you only got 1 foot to go, Jim.
Yeah, a lot of times you've just got to get that penetration right up the front. If you don't do that, he's going to be able to get up and over for the touchdown.
Oh, exactly. You can't have a stalemate. You have to get penetration as a defensive lineman, or if it's a stalemate, the running back would just jump over and score easy like he did.
All right, it's halftime. The Dallas Cowboys take a 9-6 lead over the New Orleans Saints. We're going to take another break, and we'll be right back with more live from Shreveport.
Mental areas last week, and now some of that's coming back, and once we get some of the 2 tight ends back in there, I think you're going to see one great team going.
Yeah, the offense looked like they blocked a little bit this week, and that's a good sign.
I think so, and I believe that this is the start of this year. Looking forward to it.
Lamar Smith looked quick around the outside.
Sure did, look very quick, and I think that Billy Joe was throwing some good stuff there tonight.
You came right into the Lions' den. This is Cowboy territory.
Well, I reminded him, though, this was Louisiana, and that's Saints territory.
Let's try to make it that way. Mr. Benson, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Tom Benson, I'm Ron Swoboda. Back to you, Jim.
Ron, thank you very much. Now, we had Billy Joe Hebert wired up for this entire first half of this game, and as Mr. Benson said, Billy Joe Hebert played pretty well, led the Saints to a touchdown, threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah, he was very, very definitely a team leader out there. He made things happen, and offensively, I think that's what Coach Dicker was looking for, and he got things done, and I'm sure he's well pleased with Hebert's play the first half.
Now, the Dallas Cowboys lead this scrimmage 9-6 at the half, Bobby, but frankly, they left their first-team offense in for both possessions. Little surprised because the Saints played their first-teamers 1 possession. They got out. Troy Aikman stayed in for 2 possessions.
Right, I think in Chan Gailey's defense, what he's trying to do is get some confidence for their offense. You know, they only scored 3 points against the Raiders last week, so they said, shoot, we can't get field goals. We got field goals all last year. We need to score touchdowns. But I thought a couple of players that stood out on the defense, I thought Alex Molden made a couple of defensive plays that are real aggressive, and Mark Few showed his athletic ability that he has in the past. Like a perfect example is the play where he stole the ball, exactly like he did last year against the Rams.
Yeah, luckily for the Cowboys, they broke that whistle off a little earlier. That would have been a touchdown. Now, we talked about Billy Joe Hebert playing so well in the first half. He's standing by with our Joe Trahan. Joe?
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Joining us now, starting quarterback Billy Joe Hebert. Billy Joe, what'd you think about the work?
I thought it went pretty well. The guys, I don't know if I'm answering the same questions I did earlier, but the guys came off the ball pretty well, and they were eager to get out and play, which is a little bit better than our first game.
Do you think that there was some progress made that you guys, when you look on film, you'll be able to see it and build on it?
Well, certainly there's a lot of things on film that we need to learn from. Whether or not we build on it remains to be seen. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think we're going to go in the right direction. We've been working real hard since that game. That Monday practice was brutal. We worked pretty diligently on the different blitzes and stunts that the Green Bay Packers gave us.
Talk me through the Wilcox touchdown.
Well, actually, I thought they were going to call a sack on that because Leon Lett was jumping. He was about 12 feet up in the air and came down and hit me on top of the helmet. And I thought once we were touched, we were down, but they let me throw it. It was good on Wilcox's part for staying alive and keeping control of what he was doing. I thought, I just assumed everything was done, but heck, he was wide open.
All right, great. Billy Joe Hebert, thanks so much. Good luck in Denver, big guy. All right, Jimmy, back to you.
Thank you very much, Joe Trahan. Saints back on offense as we begin the third quarter of this scrimmage. 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line. Danny Werfel on the quarterback, the quick slant pattern. He hits Gunnar Twiner, number 81, for a 5-yard gain. Let's check out the first half stats, Bobby. And overall, certainly the Dallas Cowboys outrushed the New Orleans Saints, 94-36. Passing, they also outdid the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I think Coach Dickey would really be disappointing in those rushing yards that they allowed the Cowboys to have in the first half. But other than that, I thought the Saints played the Cowboys really tough and played them well. And I think the thing he wants to correct on is definitely be able to stop the run.
And remember this, the Dallas Cowboys left their first-team offense for 2 series, so you're really only seeing the Saints' first-team offense stats. 2nd and 5 now for the New Orleans Saints. Danny Werfel on the quarterback, guns it down the middle, but it's incomplete, and that pass is overthrown.
Yeah, he had the receiver on, but it just looked like it sailed on him, and if he was stepped up a little quicker, he had him open. But, I think Werfel just needs to relax, settle down, and just, he just step. Here he is dropping back. So I think that just little nick he got there by number 92 and that pulled him down, I think that's what caused the ball to sail, that 93.
They're not supposed to be hitting the quarterback there, but it looks like Danny Werfel may disagree with those referees because he certainly got dragged down to that play. Brings up a 3rd and 5 situation for the New Orleans Saints. Derek Brown in it, one running back for the New Orleans Saints. Ball's now at their 40-yard line. Werfel back to pass on 3rd down. Looking up the middle, goes straight down the middle. His pass to the tight end. Marcus Hinton, and he drops the ball.
That was a perfect throw. He showed great touch by Danny Werfel. That's the kind of catches and plays you have to make if you're going to be where you want to be during the season. See, here you can hear Billy Joe telling Danny, nice ball. You couldn't have thrown that any prettier. He touched it right in there, and he dropped it. Therefore, we have to start all over. 1st and 10 in the 35 again.
Right, again, the way this scrimmage works, if you're just joining us tonight, is the New Orleans Saints will have 10 plays in this drive in this third quarter. Then the Dallas Cowboys will have 10 plays on offense. This is now the 4th play for the New Orleans Saints. It sets up another 1st and 10 situation, ball at the 35-yard line.
Jim, if Marcus Hinton wants to make the team, he has to make those kind of plays. That's exactly what Coach Dick was talking about. He has to make those catches.
Handoff goes to Derek Brown, and he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Bobby, Marcus Hinton dropped a touchdown pass the other day against the Green Bay Packers. Now, that was obviously would have been a big-time catch, but one he still should make.
Yeah, that would have been a big-time catch, but if you're trying to make the team, those are the kind of plays you have to make. And I wouldn't be too encouraging for him to go into the Denver game after having a tight game against Green Bay and having this scrimmage against Cowboys. He has to go out and make plays and show the coach he gets the job done.
And with the 2 tight ends that normally would be playing at this time, both injured, John Farquhar and Cam Cleveland, he's getting an opportunity. Brings up a 2nd and 9 situation for the New Orleans Saints offense. Ball on the 36-yard line. Brown and Fred McCurry are the running backs. Brown in motion. Werfel back to pass, goes across the middle, and it's incomplete again, intended for tight end number 49, Marcus Hinton. Let's head down to the sidelines. Joe Trahan is standing by with one of the big men, Willie Roaf. Joe?
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Willie Roaf joins us now. Willie, out of 5 running plays on that first drive, you get 4 of 5 or more yards. Talk about the push up front. You think you guys got the job done better?
Yeah, we did it. We came out here with a little more intensity. Coach Dickey got after us after the Green Bay game, of course, and we had to come out with more of a sense of urgency, and we did today. So,
talk about where this offense needs to go now. What are the next steps that you guys have to take to be good?
We just have to be level in all phases and make sure we play consistent or practice consistent every week. And we'll see what we do against Denver, and that'll be a big test for us. I like playing against these good teams that are going to the playoffs and to the Super Bowls so you can really match up against the best in the league.
Thanks so much, Willie Roaf. Jimmy, back to you for the play.
Hey, thank you very much. Jake Delhomme now in a quarterback for the New Orleans Saints on this 3rd and 9 situation at the 36-yard line. Delhomme back to pass. Was going to set up the screen to Derek Brown. Brown trying to break the tackle, but he cannot get loose. He is brought down by number 59, Darren Hambrick, the rookie out of South Carolina.
Jim, Jake had a great 7-on-7 offensive game going against the Cowboys' 7-on-7 defense, but if he can just finish it off and have a good team session, this would really be a positive scrimmage for him.
Yeah, this was a screenplay that might have gone if it's not stopped, but Hebert steps up and he makes the play. It's a one-on-one situation, and Derek Brown can't shed him. Now, again, because the Saints don't get the first down, they are stopped on that screen. It sets up another 1st and 10 situation. Jake Delhomme back in at quarterback, Fred McCreary and Derek Brown, the running backs. Brown takes the handoff, he takes it up the middle and picks up about 6-yard lines. And again, we've got Joe Tran on the sidelines. He's picking up players left and right. Joe.
Now, Lamar, talk about the work up front and the holes you saw.
Which enabled me to read the holes, and I just ran to the soft spot.
Something to build on tonight, you think?
Oh yeah, most definitely. We proved that we can come off the ball and run the football against a very good defense, and I think tonight was a real positive for us offensively.
Thanks so much, Lamar Smith, tailback.
All right, Joe Trahan, thank you very much. Derek Brown gets a handoff on a 2nd and 4 situation. He's stacked up, picks up 1 yard. So now it brings up a 3rd and 3 situation, still at the Saints' 42-yard line. Jake Delhomme still in a quarterback for the Saints, and you're going to see a lot of guys running in and out in this second half. We'll keep you up to date as best we can, but you will see a lot of different players coming in and out because Mike Ditka wants to look at a lot of these guys. Time is burning, Bobby. He definitely wants to look at some guys. Derek Brown in at running back in a solo back situation. 3 wide receivers in. 2 split to the near side. Delhomme with the handoff up the middle. Derek Brown, and he's brought down again by number 59, Darren Hebert.
You know, that was a key play that, and here we get the key block by number 78. Who was that offensive tackle, Jim? Did you see for the Saints who were in there?
Number 78 is Darryl Terrell.
Yeah, Darryl Terrell. If Darryl Terrell makes that block, we have a 1st down. And you can't miss blocks like that and expect to continue drives. Here we have a 3rd down, and you have to convert at least 40% of 3rd down conversions. Now we've got to start over again, and that would have been a big block and could have kept the drive going.
All right, it's the 9th play of a 10-play series here in the 3rd quarter for the New Orleans Saints. It's 1st and 10, ball on the 35-yard line. Delhomme back to pass. He's got time going down the left sideline. One-on-one coverage. He's got a man open down the sideline. Big catch down the left sideline. He hits number 18, Andy McCullough. Number 18, Andy McCullough, the rookie 7th-round draft pick out of the University of Tennessee.
Jim, that was a great catch, and Jake's really having some big-time plays. Look, he stepped, he got hit, stood in there tough, and Andy McCullough just made a great catch. And as a rookie, that's the kind of plays you have to make. He went up aggressive for the ball when he wanted it more than the defender. Therefore, in great field position.
You know, you talk about guys stepping up and making plays in a scrimmage like this. This is an opportunity for him.
Exactly. Here's Andy McCullough trying to make the team. A lot of competition at wide receiver. I think here's Ditka. He wants a field goal. That's what he's upset about. But they say that was the 10th play and he wasn't inside the 20. So we're just going to switch. I think Ditka wanted to go for the field goal.
Right. He's trying to tie this game up right now. The Dallas Cowboys lead this game 9-6. That's the end of the Saints' possessions in the 3rd quarter. Now the Dallas Cowboys offense comes out and they will have 10 possessions in this 3rd quarter, leading this game. The scrimmage 9-6 right now. Again, it's in the 3rd quarter, and they'll set the ball up same as we've done before. It's a 1st and 10 situation at the Dallas Cowboys 35-yard line.
I think they have Jason Garrett in now at quarterback, and most of the second team is in for the Cowboys. So let's see how we're going to react to them. And I thought we played their first unit pretty well the first half.
Yeah, Troy Aikman did take all the snaps, all 20 snaps in the first half for the Cowboys. Now you've got Tarek Smith, Nicky Shalua in at the running backs, and Jason Garrett is brought down to the sack by big number 98, Larry Townsend.
And that was
free
a big
agent out of Nebraska.
That was a big-time play, Jim. He just busted through the line. And Coach Ditka would definitely be impressed with it. Here he is, just coming off the ball. Looks like there was miscommunication between the center and the right guard for the Cowboys, and Larry just went upfield. Townsend made a great play and put Jason Garrett down. Jason didn't have a chance on that play.
I tell you what, Pio Sangapulatelli, he's torn a tricep. He's out 10 to 12 weeks. There's a job at defensive tackle that may be available, and a guy like Larry Townsend has a chance to step in here, Bobby.
So here he is coming in, having an opportunity and making plays, and that's what it's all about.
Well, that brings up the 2nd and 5 situation now. Ball on the 30-yard line. Garrett going down the left sideline. Incomplete, ball overthrown. Good coverage by Fred Weir. Right now, Joe Tran is standing by with one of the stars on the defensive side of the field for the Saints, Mark Fields.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Mark, talk about the work out there. You had the one spectacular play where you stole the ball away from Emmitt Smith. Good work?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was down. They took it away from me, so, you know, you just got to chalk that one up. So
you'll get it back come regular season. Talk about the job the front seven did while you had the first stringers in there, Mark.
Yeah, it looked a lot better than Green Bay. I mean, everybody was fitting right. You know, we were in our gaps and our holes where we were supposed to be, but yet we're still getting better. We want to be prepared for September 6th.
Talk about this competition, against this top-notch competition, how good it is for this defense.
Oh, I think it's excellent. I mean, when you go against a Super Bowl champion in Green Bay Packers, and then you come against the Dallas Cowboys, and then we're going against Denver Broncos, I mean, it's excellent work for us for September 6th.
All right, great. Speaking of excellent work, let's throw it back up to Jim Gallagher.
All right, thank you very much, Joe Tran. On a 3rd and 15 situation, Andre Royal comes through and sacks Jason Garrett on the 3rd down. Andre Royal's a guy we talked about in the pregame show.
Keep your shirt in. That's all I ask. Look like a player. Look like a player. It ain't hard to do. Just try to keep your shirts in. Come on.
So here's Coach Dick. He says he don't want you to play good. He wants you to look good.
You doing any good? Okay, I haven't watched it. I don't know.
A lot of people saw it last night, the big blow-up between Mike Ditka and Andre Royal. Royal apologized to Mike Ditka last night. He has fined him, but there will be no suspension, and that's the reason Andre Royal is on the field tonight. We've got the handoff by the Dallas Cowboys in a 1st and 10 situation. Tarek Smith spins and picks up about 5 yards on the right side.
Yeah, I think what Coach Dick was previously talking to Andre Royal, if you felt that you got the job done, and here's a replay on the run. Here's a great cut by Smith. Really feel the hole good, but you want to react quicker because that's really a positive play for the Cowboys because they got 2nd and 4. But Coach Dick was telling Royal that, did you do good out there? And he said, yeah, I think I did pretty good. So hopefully he can build on that and stop him with this series also.
2nd and 4 situation now for the Dallas Cowboys. Garrett with the handoff again to Tarek Smith. Smith with the cutback to the right side. He's brought down after gaining the 1st down by number 20, Earl Little. And a lot of people, if you saw that screaming match between Mike Ditka and Andre Royal, might be surprised that he's on the field. But the one thing, if you get to know Mike Ditka a little bit, is once things are over with, they're over with.
Yeah, they're over. He doesn't hold any grudges, Jim. He just wants football players out there. And if Royal's going to speak his mind, he's going to respect that. And I think that was a positive thing for Royal to apologize to Coach Dicker and get out there on the football field and make plays.
All right, brings up a 1st and 10 situation after Smith picks up the 1st down. Ball's now on the 46-yard line of the Cowboys. Jason Garrett still in at quarterback. Garrett back to pass. The out pattern incomplete, intended for number 19, Michael Hicks. Now take a listen to the Ditka Royal.
You don't fool anybody. Yeah, actually, I think we're not. You don't fool me, buddy. I ain't never played shit on mother. I'll tell you one thing, they get out and practice if you're not hurt. Don't worry about what everybody else. You'll be gone anyway. Don't worry about it. You won't be around. You never did need you. You weren't on my list either.
Just over 24 hours ago, that was the practice fields of lacrosse. Mike Ditka and Andre Royal getting into a heated confrontation. But again, Mike Ditka and Andre Royal patched up their differences. Royal apologized to Mike Ditka last night. He's back on the football field today, and as you saw for a moment ago, that exchange from Andre Royal and Mike Ditka, looks like bygones are bygones.
Yeah, Jim, that pass play just now was a big play by Rob Lertzema.
Good job, Rob. You're in.
Rob Lertzema, is that
Rob
right?
Lertzema, yes.
Rob
Number
Lertzema.
96. He is a rookie out of
Florida. Is that
Yeah, University of Florida.
University of Florida. Here's a guy you never even know where he's coming from. He's out there making plays. That's what Coach Dick likes.
All right, Andre Royal back in the game now. It's a 3rd and 13 situation. Ball's on the 43-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. Shotgun formation. Jason Garrett still in at quarterback.
Saints like they're blitzing.
Garrett, deep pattern, completes the pass to number 19, Taj Johnson. Johnson's a rookie out of San Diego State, and Garrett finds the open man for the 1st down.
Jim, it looks like Gerard Cherry was at great position underneath courage, but he was too flat. If he'd have gained a little bit of depth, he could have blocked that pass down. They wouldn't have been able to convert it. The Cowboys did a great job of picking up the type of blitz the Saints were running on that particular snap.
Brings up a 1st and 10 situation for the Dallas Cowboys. Ball is now on the 41-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. This is the 7th play of this quarter. Remember, it's 10 plays to a quarter. Handoff this time goes to Tarek Smith. Smith to the outside, picks up about 4 yards beside. He's brought down a host of tacklers. Earl Little comes up with the ball, but the ball was slowed down.
For Dallas, Earl Little makes the stop for the Saints.
Yeah, that was a real good stop by Earl Little. He just came across and flowed well to the ball, and you know, really just made a good tackle. It was a good run for the Cowboys, but I think it was a mutual good stop for the Saints, but also a good run for the Cowboys.
Earl Little's an interesting guy, Bob. He's out of the University of Miami. He runs a 4.40. He's one of the fastest guys on the team for the New Orleans Saints, and a guy that may end up sticking around if he can play some special teams for this club.
Yeah, if he's that fast and has that much ability and can make plays like that and contribute on special teams, he'll have a great chance to make the Saints ball club.
All right, the Saints stop him now, so we're still back in action. Because the Saints were able to stop him on that play, we go back to a 1st and 10 again for the Dallas Cowboys. They have 2 plays left.
Yes, it went right through your hands, son.
Coach,
I give you one of these. Hey.
Jim, Coach Dick was talking about Gerard Cherry. When he was in position, he should have batted the ball down and they converted the 1st down. That's what he was telling him.
Mike Ditka's still coaching him right now. Funny stuff from Mike Ditka. 1st and 10 now. Ball again on the 35-yard line. Jason Garrett back to pass. Looking across the middle, and he completes his pass to number 80, Stepford Williams. Young man out of Northeast Louisiana.
Yeah, Jim, I believe, is he from Minden, the wide receiver? Is he from Minden, Louisiana? Right? I'm sure he has a few family folks in here watching the game, and on that particular play, Jason had enough time to throw. Fred Reary gave too much cushion. See, he didn't really cut quick enough, and he was too far off, and he'll have to do a better job than that if he's expected to play more in the cornerback position.
And that's why you're playing out there in a scrimmage situation like this. This is the time to make those mistakes, Bobby. You learn from a game-type situation. 1st and 10 now for the Dallas Cowboys. Ball now at the 47-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Tarek Smith in the backfield along with Nicky Solua and Jason Garrett at quarterback. Garrett back to pass, looking to the outside, and he completes the pass again to Stepford Williams, and that's another 1st down for the Dallas Cowboys.
Jim, exactly like I was saying previously, it was just too much cushion, and he has to close the gap and be closer on that particular.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Stick around. The Dallas Cowboys leading the New Orleans Saints as we continue scrimmaging in Shreveport. Saints now on offense. This was the first play just moments ago of the scrimmage. Gunnar Twiner on the reverse picks up 36 yards for the Saints. And now just a moment ago, let's immediately jump onto the 3rd play. Now we're going to live action now. Saints with the 2nd and 5 at the 24. Jake Delhomme in at quarterback, goes across the middle to his running back, number 40, Wes Bender, out of the backfield. And that's another 1st down for the New Orleans Saints. All right, here is the 2nd play. Right after the Twiner reverse, here's the 2nd play coming at you.
And a very snake.
And you can see that was number 28, Troy Davis. A nice cutback, picks up 5 yards. Just set up a moment ago the play you just saw with Wes Bender. And the pass goes to Wes Bender for the 1st down. And again, folks, if you're watching at home, we really have no control over these scrimmages. Sometimes they're going to take 2 minutes, sometimes they're going to take 30 seconds, and they immediately come back. That was a very quick turnaround to begin the 4th quarter. Saints on offense now, 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Delhomme with the handoff, he goes to the inside, and it's number 28, Troy Davis, taking it down to the 6-yard line.
Jim, that was a nice hard run by Troy Davis. He really came off the ball following the surge at offensive line, and that's the kind of runs that Coach Ditka loves. Here you see Troy's making a nice cut. The offensive line, control line of scrimmage. He got a great run of 5 yards.
All right, it's now 2nd and 5. Ball is at the 6-yard line, so the Saints still could conceivably get another 1st down and not score a touchdown here. Jake Delhomme still in a quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. 2nd and 5, balls at the 6-yard line. Wes Bender and Troy Davis are in the backfield. Handoff goes to Davis on the left side. Breaks the tackle, takes it in for the touchdown.
Oh, Jim, that was a great run by Troy Davis there. Here he had 2 Cowboy defenders just waiting to tackle him. He splits both of them, runs hard. What I was really impressed with Troy Davis when I seen him physically is his physique. He's solid, he's well put together, and he can bust through arm tackles, and that's what he did on that particular score.
Not only that, he had a little hole to run through too, Bobby. Davis breaks it off to the left side and takes it in for the score. Let's look at the replay.
Here he is, just coming off the left side, breaking arm tackles. And that's the name of the game. See 38 not locking up. If you don't lock up on a guy like Troy Davis, here you got Lethbridge in the 38 for the Cowboys. He's just running right through him. 1 arm tackle, 2 arm tackles. Touchdown. He made it look easy.
This is a guy who gained over 2,000 yards 2 years in a row at Iowa State. Very productive running back when he was at Iowa State. So the New Orleans Saints take the lead, 12-9 on the touchdown run by Troy Davis. And the way the scrimmage goes, it's real simple. They just ran 5 plays for 65 yards, take it down for the touchdown, but because of a scrimmage situation, they still have 5 more plays to go in this fourth quarter for the New Orleans Saints. So Jake Delhomme will stay in at quarterback for the Saints after engineering that touchdown drive. Derek Brown now back in at running back, along with Wes Bender at fullback. Now it's a 1st and 10 situation for the New Orleans Saints. Delhomme back to pass, looking straight down the middle. Ball is intended for number 17, Joe Douglas, and Douglas drops it, Bobby.
Hey, that was a great pass by Jake. There wasn't much room for error right there, and if number 17 was to have any chance, Douglas, of making the ball club, you got to make that catch. DeLong's been having a great scrimmage, a great 7-on-7. This right there, you got to make that catch. If he keeps doing that, improving, Jake will have a great chance to make this team.
You're going to be fine, buddy.
You could hear that was Mike Ditka talking to Troy Davis saying, hey, keep running in tough, you're going to be fine. 2nd and 10 now for the New Orleans Saints. The handoff goes to Wes Bender. He takes it straight up the middle, picks up about 3 yards down to the 38-yard line. And you know, Mike Ditka has talked a lot about Troy Davis. He said after the game the other night, I was disappointed that Troy Davis only got 2 carries. He wanted to see him run more. He's certainly got a chance to see him run tonight.
Yes, on that last drive in the 5 plays, he definitely was the workhorse on that particular drive, and very productive and made plays happen.
Good down. 3rd and 6 now. Ball's at the 39-yard line. Saints leading the Dallas Cowboys 12-9 in the fourth quarter. Derek Brown and Wes Bender in now at the running back positions. Brown comes in motion. Jake Delhomme still the quarterback. Delhomme quick slant. Looking for the pass is intercepted. Pass is picked off by number 38 of the Dallas Cowboys, Zebby Lethridge. Jake Delhomme with the slant pattern goes right off the hands of Chad Askew, and Zebby Lethridge comes up with the interception for the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, Jim, I might be biased, but I think that was a pretty good throw by Delhomme, and you know, Askew has to make that catch if he's going to have a chance to make the team.
Let's take a listen to the Fox sounds of the game. You can hear the big pop by Chad Askew. Gets hit, but you've got to make that catch in the NFL, don't you?
Yes, what he had, even though KD Williams delivered a big-time blow, you got to catch that ball and duck and try and get under that hit. But hey, you got to make those kind of plays if you can have a chance to make the team.
All right, 2 plays left for the New Orleans Saints in this fourth quarter with their offense. Take the ball back to the 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Jake Delhomme still in at quarterback for the Saints. Play action pass, the rollout goes deep to the sideline, going to Chad Askew. Lethridge in on the coverage, and the ball goes incomplete again.
Yeah, Jim, and that was really close. It's hard to tell from this angle right now if it just went through Askew's hands or if number 38 Lethridge just made a great block. Here he is on the boot. Delhomme looks like he makes a pretty accurate throw. And it looks like a pretty great defensive play by Lethridge, getting his hand in there, but it was an accurate throw, and the receiver, you just have to push off further and get more of separation, and he just didn't on that particular play.
Saints have 1 play left in this fourth quarter. 2nd and 10 now. Ball still at the 35-yard line. Delhomme still in a quarterback. Saints backs are now Wes Bender and Derek Brown. Joe Douglas and Chad Askew are the receivers for the New Orleans Saints, and they're split to the sides. Delhomme back to pass. Under a lot of pressure. Pulls back, going down the right sideline. And the pass is incomplete, intended for Joe Douglas. Very good defense by the Cowboy defender there.
Yeah, Jim, that's a play also Coach Ditka and Danny Brown is going to tell Jake, if you don't have nothing, just throw it away. And here's Danny talking to Jake. He's saying if he had a pump on that, but I think he was just scrambling, and there was nobody open. He needed to throw it away on that particular play.
He can't play. You had to Your hands get a little slimy, brother? All right, way to drive him, all right, no problem. Well done.
Yeah, I think what Jake was saying, that it was the last play, so he just let it rip. But normally when no one's open and you scramble like that, you just need to throw it away. And what it was so weird because Billy Joe was saying what it slipped, it was like the receiver got behind him and he quite didn't get it out there.
All right, Dallas Cowboys now get the ball for their 10 plays in the fourth quarter. They'll start 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. In at quarterback number 7, Joshua Ronka. Almost intercepted. Pass goes.
Oh my God! Rob. Good job, Rob.
Oh, that was
Rob,
a pick for 6.
way to get up there. Good job. Good job.
Ink, read it perfect.
You can hear him
Jones
yelling at
machine
number
right there,
54, Incalega. Almost got the interception on the screen pass to Bo Morgan.
You know, Jim, it was just a perfect read, and it just looked like he just mistimed it and went through his hands. I guess that's why he's playing on defense, because he really could have had a pick for 6 there.
Yeah, though you could hear those guys. That's why he shut up all of a sudden. You could hear those guys yelling on the sideline. When you got those live mics, we want to keep bringing you inside, the viewer inside this game. 2nd 11 now, ball on the 34-yard line after a loss of 1 on that play. Josh LaRocca whips the pass out to number 19, Taj Johnson. He breaks a tackle and takes it all the way down to the New Orleans Saints 45-yard line before he's run out of bounds.
Yeah, Jim, we had pretty tight coverage there. We just got to make the play as a defender here on the boot. LaRocca out of Rice University makes a great throw. Pretty good coverage, but you got to bat that ball down, and they're making a big play on 1st down or 2nd down.
Josh LaRocca spent the last couple of years, number 7, Josh LaRocca spent the last couple of years playing in the NFL Europe, so he's an experienced signal caller.
Yeah, we had Earl Little there at cornerback, and he was in pretty good position, but he should have knocked that ball down.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys now. Ball's at the 44-yard line. LaRocca with the handoff again to Bo Morgan, the rookie out of Air Force, and he's brought down by number 51, and that's again Andre Royal. Let's head down to the sidelines and our Joe Trahan. Joe?
Thanks so much, Jimmy. Saints safety Chad Cota joining us now. Chad, what'd you think about the work against Dallas's number 1 unit?
I was, really encouraged tonight. It was a lot better, definitely than Green Bay. We came out and, the holes were plugged up, and we came out and played pretty well, I think.
Emmett gouged you guys for 1, but other than that, you kept him out of the end zone on that first drive.
Yeah, that's a positive thing. We can bend a little bit, but we're not going to break, keep him out of the end zone. And, we gave up a couple 3rd downs, but things that can, easily be fixed.
All right, back to you, Jimmy. Thanks so much, Chad.
Joe, thank you very much. 2nd and 8 now after the 2-yard gain by Bo Morgan. Josh LaRocca back to pass, swings it outside to number 39, Dwayne Chandler, and he takes it out of bounds. And Anthony Cobb is in on the tackle. Again, you're going to be seeing a lot of 3rd-teamers in here, so be patient with this.
Yeah, right.
We're going to be seeing a lot of guys that you may not be seeing Sunday in a Saints uniform.
But here's the situation. Here's a guy, it might be his only opportunity ever in the NFL. Hey, go out and make a big play. Coach Dick will be impressed. It might give you another opportunity next week against Denver.
Well, especially a guy like Gallagher. We just saw it a moment ago. Gets an opportunity to make the pick and doesn't make the play happen. 3rd and 2 now. Ball's on the 36-yard line of the Saints. Receiver comes in motion. LaRocca with the handoff to Bo Morgan straight up the middle, and he is stuffed. He is stuffed by the Saints, right side of the Saints defensive line.
It looks like it's going to be close, Jimmy. They barely got it already. It looks like it'll be, have to start from the 35 again. It'll be 4th and inches.
Bobby, let's isolate in on Andre Royal getting a lot of playing time here.
Here's Andre Royal one-on-one. He just throws the tight end out of the way, and actually is a big part of this play. And he's the type of guy that can make those plays. Andre Royal has done that consistently throughout his career. Just gets his attitude right. I think he really can contribute and help the Saints a lot this year.
Yeah, Andre Royal, if you missed it earlier in the show, we talked about Andre Royal.
Who's our guy down? Who is that?
He and Mike Ditka got together. They apologized last night. He's been fined, but no suspension.
Morgan is?
We've got a player on the field. Julian Pittman will pick it up and just back live to Shreveport, Louisiana. Dallas Cowboys still have the ball in the 4th quarter. It's a 2nd and 10 situation. Josh LaRocca with the pass to the outside, and he hits number 15, young Mr. Eubanks.
Pass complete to number 15, Anthony Eubanks.
Anthony Eubanks, the guy wasn't even on our roster.
Yeah.
Anthony Eubanks picks up the pass. Now, the reason that we're farther back, Bobby, is because the New Orleans Saints stuffed them a couple of plays ago. So good stop, run-stop defense on that play by Julian Pittman. We saw him on the sidelines, saw him on the ground injured. He was able to get up on his own power, get back to the sidelines. Now that completion to Eubanks is a 1st down. So now the Dallas Cowboys offense, with 3 plays left to go in the 4th quarter, have the ball 1st and 10 at the Saints' 48-yard line. Josh LaRocca still in at quarterback for the Cowboys. LaRocca back to pass. Quick slant, and the ball is almost intercepted by number 96 of the New Orleans Saints, Rob Lertzema.
You know, Jim, talking about making plays, here's a chance for Rob Lertzema right there, right through his hands. It looks like a zone dog drop where he blitzed some of the linebackers and dropped the defensive end. You got to make that play. That's the kind of play Coach Dick is looking for.
Let's head down to the sidelines, and Joe Trahan, who's standing by with number 1 pick, big rookie offensive tackle Kyle Turley.
Thanks so much, Jim. Kyle, talk about your work. You, of course, got some good work in with the 1st-teamers at that left guard position.
Well,
I'm going to play wherever they put me, and that's up to the coaching staff. And you know, they brought me here for a reason, you know, because I like to play football, and they'll and they want to see how change to the NFL level, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. And you know, I switched from right tackle to guard, and you know, I'm making the transition. It's not easy, you know. I mean, you got to flip everything from one side to the other, and you're playing a whole different position. So you got to focus on a lot more.
All right, great. Thanks so much. That's rookie Cal Turley. Jimmy, back to you.
Thank you very much, Joe Trahan. The play you just saw moments ago, Josh LaRocca swings it out to Bobby Rodriguez, and Andre Royal makes the big play.
See, that's why Andre Royal is having the opportunity to make big-time money, Jim, for those type hits, making plays, and that's what Coach Dick is looking for. So I think Coach Dick has to be pleased with Royal's performance so far tonight. He's made 2 or 3 big plays.
He forces the fumble there. The Saints recover the fumble, so that would have stopped the drive. The Cowboys bring it back. They have 1 play left in this scrimmage. Again, the ball comes back to the 35-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 situation, and if we're correct, this is the final play of our scrimmage tonight. LaRocca back to pass against the Saints' 3rd-team defense. Going down the right sideline. LaRocca with the deep pass, and his sails out of bounds. Ball is intended for Taj Johnson, and that is the end of the scrimmage. The New Orleans Saints beating the Dallas Cowboys 12-9 here in Shreveport. And Mike Ditka's team certainly with a much better performance tonight than Saturday night against the Green Bay Packers.
He definitely, Jim, they played a lot more enthusiasm. They look sharp, and this has to help their confidence. Beating a quality team like the Cowboys and their tradition, even though it's just a scrimmage, they got to feel good about themselves tonight.
The Saints beat the Dallas Cowboys 12-9 in this scrimmage here in Shreveport. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to wrap it up from Shreveport in just a moment.
Saints football in the Dome also means big challenges from the NFL's best, like Dallas, San Francisco, and Carolina. It'll take an iron will to win and an army of Saints fans to defend the Dome. 10 awesome games, 10 awesome challenges. Be a season ticket holder and save money. Season tickets start as low as $15 a game. The best seats on sale now and going fast. To get in the Dome and get in the fun, call the Saints at 731-1700.
Mike Ditka talking to the media right now. Let's take a listen.
What I didn't see last week, I saw tonight with the hitting. I think our defense was hitting. They were physical. They created a couple fumbles. That's all we're asking our guys to do. We still missed some tackles, but that's going to happen.
Talk about the offense up front, Mike. How the offense
I thought there were some good things. I thought we popped a few holes in there. Joe, it's hard to tell on the side, but I think when you look at the film, we'll be able to say we had a couple holes. I thought they ran hard. I haven't been able to get Troy Davis the ball, and I believe he's a great football player. I mean, I'm not saying good. I think he can be great. And we got to get him the ball. I got Lamar. I know what he can do. I know what Ray can do. We got some solid backs that can run the football in there, and that's a good thing to have. And also, Derek ran the ball in there. So,
Mike, how important?
You know what? Josh Wilcox is a perfect example of the talent doesn't win in the league all the time. Heart wins. He's got a great heart. He's got a good work ethic. He tries his heart out. He's limited a little bit physically, but so what? Who cares? You know, he catches the ball. He doesn't drop it. He doesn't look quite as graceful as some of the other guys out there, but he's a football. Hey, listen, if he got his dad's blood in him, believe me, he's a football player.
Talk about building on this as you go to Denver, Mike.
Well, we got 3 days, Joe. I don't know. We're playing against the world champions. I don't know that. The Cowboys had the same record we had last year. So you go up against the world champions. Woof. I mean, there's no question they can run the football now, and they do run it now. They're very good. They didn't even play Elway last week, and they looked awfully good, and they'll play Elway this week. So it'll be awfully interesting. For our defense will get a real challenge, and our offense will get a real challenge.
How important about Kyle Turley at left guard, and also could you talk about?
Well, it's just a move we made. I can't talk about how he played because I don't know.
How about Clarence at right tackle? How he's held up so well in camp?
Well, Clarence has played well. That's why when we're trying to get the best 5 on the field, and if Kyle's one of the best 5, he's got to go somewhere else right now because Clarence certainly is one of them.
Are you happy with getting out of Willie Rope right now?
Oh yeah, Willie's in great. They say great shape. He's in the best shape he's been in the last 3 years. I'll guarantee you that.
Mike, how important was it to have a good night tonight coming off of Saturday?
Well, I don't think Saturday was an indication of this football team. I really don't. I don't know what happened. I mean, I never seen us make that many mistakes on defense. I mean, we're going to get beat. I mean, nobody's not going to get beat, but I mean, to make as many as we did in the running game was unbelievable. I mean, and I just think we're better than that, and I think we'll play better now. I think Zaven maybe ran a little bit more base tonight, and I don't know, but we blitzed some in there. They blitzed some. I mean, it was about even.
Mike, can you talk about your decision with Andre? You find him not, and how much was the apology?
I believe this from the bottom of my heart, fellas. You know, I've made mistakes in life, and he made a mistake. What he did was wrong, and I probably tried to motivate him in a way which I haven't motivated people for a while. And I've tried to rub him a little bit and try to make him, you know, but he responded a little bit differently than I thought he would. But he also came in like a man and apologized, said he was wrong, and I explained to him I don't want it ever to happen again. And to anybody, I'm not talking about me, to any coach, to anybody in the org, he knows that. I think he's apologized. He's got a good fire in him now, you know. And I remember when I was a youngster, I had one too. So I can't say, you know, although I would have never done that, but I can see why it would happen sometimes. Do I understand it? No, but I'm going to say I forgive him, and we'll go on from here and see what happens.
What about the play he made at the end?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. He's a football player. Why we brought him in here to play football. Let's not forget why we brought him in here to play football. Believe me, he's a talent.
Are you happy with the way the guys answered the bell overall?
Yeah, Joe, it was much better. We're so far away from where we have to go, but it was much better. I thought there was some more poise and some hitting out there. We were a little more physical, and I was glad to see that. Okay?
That's Coach Mike Ditka. An upbeat Mike Ditka talking after the scrimmage ends. Jim, back to you.
Joe Trahan, thank you very much. Let's head down to the sidelines right now. Ron Swoboda is standing by with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Ron? All right, well, hold on. Ron's not ready yet. We'll take it in a second. But, Bobby, let's comment on a couple of things that Mike Ditka just said. First of all, the Andre Royal situation. We saw the blow-up earlier. We saw how upset he was. But the next day he comes in that night, apologizes. And Mike Ditka, we've talked about it before. When bygones are bygones, he let it go. And Andre Royal certainly proved something tonight.
Yeah, Andre Royal's a football player. It's exactly like Coach Ditka said. He's going to make plays for the Saints. That's why they brought him here. He's definitely a force. He's a big hitter. And, you know, Coach Ditka doesn't have any hard feelings towards Andre. He knows how to respect that he shouldn't have done that. But here, you know, what Coach Dick is looking for in Royal, I think he showed tonight that he can improve on the big hits, the big plays, and I'm sure he'll do that this week against Denver.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back in just a moment to wrap it up live from Shreveport. The Saints beat the Dallas Cowboys 12-9 in this preseason scrimmage game from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Saints Fan Tours brings you the official travel packages for Saints games home and away. Special team hotel and airfare rates and complete packages with game tickets are now available. Call Saints Fan Tours at 524-5030.
Exclusive coverage of the Saints-Dallas Cowboys scrimmage. The New Orleans Saints beat the Dallas Cowboys tonight, 12-9 the final in this live scrimmage. And certainly for Saints fans, a much better performance tonight than the other night against the Green Bay Packers. Billy Joe Hebert improved in his performance. Troy Davis scored a touchdown. The offense did the job tonight. For my broadcast partner, Bobby Hebert, and the rest of the Fox 8 crew, we want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. We hope you've enjoyed it. From all of us at Fox 8, thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.
3 nights later, on an already hot Shreveport field, the Saints turned up the heat on the Dallas Cowboys.
There were a lot of good things in there. I mean, I really thought there were a lot of good things.
Tonight, the week-long odyssey ends in perhaps the toughest place of all, the home of the Super Bowl champs.